Toe or Margu, and they don't want to use a Civ that they want for later.
Yeah. Makes lots of sense. Also, the other days they sent Hera as the 1v1 player, so maybe they felt, okay, might be even trickier, and therefore it would be even bigger throw. Hera, if you consider him to be like the absolute beast, he had a really good game on Gold Rush yesterday.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to look back. Yeah, I mean, I would say that Nikov is the better 1v1 player than Hera right now, just because Hera's inactive for a while, but obviously they're both insane.
Hera has been really solid, surprisingly solid the last days.
Okay.
He beat
we'll
Yo. He had a really good game against Valas as well. So, yeah. Maybe Nikov simply didn't want to play the Northern Isles game.
Well, Nilly, it is our job as casters to hype up important moments. And so this is the first time
Where's the bird?
that we have ever seen Mongols versus Gurjaras on Gold Rush. I think ever, but I can't prove that, so I'm going to say at a high level.
Yeah.
So feast your eyes upon it, people.
Yeah. Gujaras in a tournament 1v1 also not really something we've seen a lot. And I'm actually pretty surprised that we see Mongols on this map.
Yeah, interesting approach. Absolutely loving the little build here for Soleil. Now, I'm sure most players are going to figure this out. It's not the most radical thing ever, but due to the fact that you start with 2 forage bushes with the Gurjaras, you tend to start with those. And then you want to put all of your herdables inside of the mill. Having about 6 sheep gives you, I think it's 5 or 6 sheep. I don't know the exact math, but it's like having 1 extra villager on food. And then you've got 4 sheep and 3 cows. So that's a lot of food in there. And I saw Margu the other day. Margu was playing a lot of the new civs, and this is pretty much the exact build he went for. So, what are we expecting off of this, Nilly? Because you can go for some pretty fast uptimes. You could maybe even be competitive with Mongols with your uptime. I was toying around with it, and I was able to pull off 19 pop scouts pretty easily.
Ooh.
With this civ.
Well, 90 pop scouts feels very reasonable, right? Then Mongols losing their advantage kind of have to play on even footage then till they get to Mango Die. And then Gujaras could have the slightly better economy. So I wouldn't mind. If you feel comfortable pulling off pop 19 scouts, I think it's a good counter to Mongols.
Yep. Now, it's just awkward because you have to chop the straggler trees and get the wood balance down. But I think the base layout is really good for pretty much anything here for Soleil because he could wall up and protect the gold and the berries in the back. And there is his lumber camp. We'll keep an eye on his food count and see what he can do with that. But yeah, I mean, we've got a player who's 2150 right now versus Nikov, who's 2500 if we're talking ranked. Nikov, well-established tournament player. Soleil has played more. He's definitely improved over the last year or two, but we're looking at different levels right now.
Yeah, probably, right? So I'm obviously all for underdog stories, all for the big upsets. It's actually kind of weird, right? Stilet probably considered to be a top 100 player in the world right now. So
yeah, he is.
Clearly a beast, but Nikov just another level. Has been like top 15 for what I feel like the last 8 years now. Something like that, right? And lots of times scratching at some really high results. Remember the reign where we had Viper winning like 19 out of 20 tournaments in a row over like a span of 4 years? The only tournament that was won by not Viper was actually Nikov's.
Yeah, and then also on top of that, a lot of those tournaments, Nikov was facing Viper early on in the rounds.
True.
So, like, he would face him round 1, round 2, or just, like, earlier than other players would, which would kind of ruin where we had Nikov placed. Now, Nikov went up with no loom, by the way. No loom. This isn't that unorthodox with Mongols. A lot of players are up so quickly, they like to delay loom till after, but Nikov also didn't click loom after Feudal Age. So, let's hope that he remembers that. He's going to go for scouts, very fast scouts. Mongols can do this with their hunt. And there he goes. Again, no loom, like Nilly. And I've been there where I try and be fancy, and then I forget it, and then I lose. It's painful, man. It's painful. You laugh as if that's never happened to you. How dare you?
My thought process is a bit more like, okay, I know I don't have loom. I will delay it. Okay, now let's get it. And then 3 men-at-arms are showing up.
Yeah. As you're getting loom.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Hey, at least we didn't delay Loom and lose 4 villagers to a tiger, like poor backed. WWC, the most painful tournament moment I've seen. I'm not liking the builds here for Soleil now. Like, he's a little all over the place. But okay, he's only got 10 on wood now. He's going to add the stable. I guess it's not too bad. It just looks very clean for Nikov as he's already got scouts out.
I don't like that he's not finishing that boar, but going on the berries there under the town center. And scouts will still have the full aggression. Now goes for Loom. And Camel Scout could be added in. Just imagine Salet not going for Loom himself and could have squeezed in another Camel Scout.
Nikov just gets Loom now. Yeah, that was a question I was going to ask. Doesn't the Camel Scout cost 20 gold, or am I wrong on that?
I think it's the full camel price.
Oh, I thought it was 60 food, 20 gold. Maybe we need someone to check that.
Oh, then I'm mistaken. Well, then you could squeeze some in. I thought it was the full camel price. Otherwise, you would always like stay in Feudal Age super long.
Yeah.
Just go for them. Yeah, 50 food, 60 gold.
Oh, is it? Okay, gotcha.
55,
Well,
60. Yeah, 60 gold.
If it's full camel price, it doesn't make sense to make it in this situation at all.
Well, it's faster than a scout and way stronger, right? So, like, in a scout war, it's crazy good.
Yeah, no, I understand that. But, you know, the second the player sees you've invested into that, there's going to be, you know, other units on the field, and it gets a little awkward. And I've been there. I played game 1 in a tournament. I felt that the pressure. I'm seeing a lot of that here for Soleil right now. He got housed badly. You know, failed to do much with the scouts. Now has to house wall around the wood line. Obviously takes a lot of skill to protect yourself here. He's got to make military, but Nikov going to take the scout, move around. Nikov's looking super comfortable.
By the way, Camel Scout is slightly slower than Scout, so misinformation there. And, oh, Tristan, hole at the very top of Nikov's wall.
And he's not going to check it either.
Yeah, that's something you never check till the army's in.
Yeah, the other thing that's awkward is, depending on where he was standing when he clicked behind, the villagers might always path towards the front of his base. You know what I mean? Like, that's a pretty... Where that gap is, if he didn't click from when he was building those houses and he clicked it another time, like maybe when he was on his way back, might not know that hole is there.
Yeah, feels pretty unlikely. Maybe if he tries to scout for relics like he is right now, and then checks it again with the scout, but he won't check it from the inside.
We have 3 spearmen, we have 1 scout, and we have 1 camel. This is like, this is Soleil trying to take it up to Castle Age, but there's no way he's ever going to do damage here.
Yeah, that's not his goal, right? The big question though is like, what's your Castle Age composition going to be? It just feels like against Mangodai, are you switching into skirms?
I don't think he even knows it's Mangodai. He's probably just thinking, maybe I can get to camels. Maybe my eco will be good enough behind this with all the herdables inside of the mill. A lot of people have asked me, you know, T90, do you think that you should take some of them out and use them? I truly don't think so. You know, I played them maybe 5 to 10 times now, so it's not that much. But I really think that, like, maybe you can take 1 or 2, but at least at the higher level, you can definitely get your eco balance set up where you can just leave them in there all the time. I'm also just not a fan of taking them out, because then you're just moving away from an eco bonus, and it just feels so unnatural.
Yeah. Civ discussions are always pretty tricky, and I think I like the design of the new civs. They offered something new, and right now they also feel like they're pretty fairly in the pack, right? I think they feel like pretty much like A till B tier civilizations, and that's something we never had with an expansion so far.
Also, they have an identity, right? Like, they have a flow. I think they're a bit clunky in terms of some of their options just because of that identity. But they have an identity, and they have a flow. And I'm going to use this moment to switch the topic because I want to rant about civs that don't. But, yeah, so Nikov getting double bid X, by the way. I was curious if you would ever remember that. Maybe the only mistake he's made here in this game. He did find the hole nearly. And he wants to go for Mangadai. Has to be said, his base, with the way he walled it here, is incredible. He's got both of his golds behind this. The stone and the berries. No real risk here.
Look at Nico's map exploration. His is like 96%.
This is all due to his training before Auto Scout. Okay, so Nikov didn't wall in front of the TC, and how many times do we have to see this before people just complete the walls? You could actually lose a villager to this.
Well, let's take a look. One getting relatively low in HP, trying to fight back. Now can just send the scouts back home, though, and we'll deal with it.
I mean, I'd commit to a villager here, because you know that Nikov has scouts. You know he's going to deal with something. So I would just try and kill a villager. It's not like you're going to keep this alive at this point. Now he's going to take a hit from the spearman.
I think it's the camel.
He was hoping to get in.
The camel auto upgrades to a real camel rider. So if you keep that one on full HP, you actually might find some more villager kills. An upgrade from like 4 to 6 attack and also more HP.
That's true. That makes sense. Nikov will drop his castle now. And he hasn't taken any damage here. He's walled up a little bit. If anything, it's definitely hurt his balance a little. He probably wanted to have the second TC already, or probably didn't want to have to place some palisade walls. But yeah, he gets some hits in here, and he's actually just going to wall it out. And I guess just wait till he gets a Mangadai.
Well, now opens the walls again.
I think he's going to TC there. He's waiting for the stone. I think he'll use the TC as part of the wall. Or not.
Debate it.
Come on.
But yeah, he's delaying himself quite a bit, right? Like, so many gates now, so many wall attempts. Really hurt him. For something like Select can never do anything else there.
So remind me the bonuses with Gurjaras and their camels.
Let me open AoE2 tech tree.
You see what I did there?
Gurjaras, mounted units deal plus 50% bonus damage.
That's actually pretty huge if they engage against the Mangadai. This is a massive bonus. I think they get heavy camel, if I'm not mistaken. I know they don't get full blacksmith upgrades, but most of them.
A camel typically does... how much damage? 9 against cavalry.
Also, they create a bit faster.
So plus 4.5.
He's going to try and find damage. Nikov's TC position is so nice. I would like to see a palisade wall or a house between the house and the stable there, but he's just trying to build up his economy and also mask the Mangadai numbers, and he has not rushed Bodcanero, which I actually like, because he can hit and run with these Mangadai. He's delaying Bodcanero so we can get more villagers. I've been there before with Mongols where you get Bodkin, you're like, how are you going to kill me now? And then you don't do quite enough damage and they get a big villager lead on you. So good work here from Nikov. As our attention is going to slowly shift towards the middle Nili, but you can't town center any of the golds in the middle except for the very middle. There's been different versions of Gold Rush over the years. This one, that weird slope there makes it so complicated to ever fully control it unless you have the actual middle.
Yeah, I don't like this one. Gold Rush was worse in the past. By the way, I think a Camel Rider now 3 hits a Mangadai, doing 20.5 damage.
Before or after Bloodlines?
Before Bloodlines, yeah. With Bloodlines 4 hitting.
Yo, where are you going here, Soleil? Where are you going?
Hugging the woodline?
What? Why did he go in there?
Really wanted to go through there.
And was that a pathing thing? And maybe he clicked them to the back. But he does have a lot of camels out. And like you said, if he can get an engagement, Nikov isn't paying attention. He could eat. And he didn't take the fight. Now is taking the fight. Oh, man, those Mangadai are dying pretty quickly. Wolves attacking the Mangadai. That'll be annoying for Nikov. Now maybe is the time where you want to see Bodcanero and Ballistics on the cards.
The house at the top, by the way, not really finishing the wall. Okay, now Nikov fixing that one. Good job by him. And feels like Nikov pretty uncontested here, right? Villagers still 9 ahead and playing his dream game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Soleil's had the worst game ever. There's only been one villager loss, but it does feel like Nikov is going to build up towards a second castle. And we can have all the conversation about Gurjara camels and their bonuses, but it seems like most of those bonuses do not help their armor against Mangadai. It feels like they're still going to very much die to the volleys, but you never know. Of course, we have a lot of faith in Nikov and his abilities to close out games from this position. So.
Okay, close out game, yeah. That's what we wanted to say. By the way, Idle TC also quite significant. Only 20 seconds for Nikov, 2.5 minutes now for Soleil, and let's take a look. Now tries to micro those down, but as we mentioned, once he closes down the distance, Mangadai is really struggling. Do we have husbandry? Feels really important.
I don't think Nikov has it yet. He's doing a good job at microing, but when the camels do engage, they are getting some kills.
Ooh, pretty
just
solid
feels like there's
micro.
so many weak ones.
Pretty solid micro there. 3 low HP camels microed back. I like this one.
Yeah, good work. That's exactly what you want to do. Also getting relics. He's about to get relic number 3. Also, I noticed, you know how earlier in the day we had the Aztec monk appear differently if it was holding a relic?
Not happening
It's not
here.
working here. Yeah, so it must have actually been a bug and not a feature.
Oh. Or a very selective feature.
Okay, so Bodkin's on the way. Nikov is saving up the stone, but he's not, like, all in on stone. Okay, no, he's just sent some mortar stone. So he definitely wants that next castle to be towards the middle. I think the next 5 minutes really going to dictate who's got the advantages going up towards Imperial Age.
What sanctity now? More HP was monks. Not really sure if that's the most important upgrade right now. But he was simply floating so much gold.
I personally, I love Sanctity. I feel like it's underrated. It's not that expensive, but I could see what you mean. It's not like in the situation we had earlier today, where it was 100% necessary.
Mangadais won't jump on those monks.
Yeah, but they might like if you get right now, if you look at these numbers, these camels have full armor and they have all that bonus damage. If they engage and 3 monks also get conversions, it could be huge.
Yeah, but the monks always get conversions no matter how much HP they have.
Well, I guess it depends. See, look! That would have died.
No, it wouldn't.
Someone do the math.
It wouldn't. Went down to 20 HP, would have had 5 HP. Now healed up.
It was close though. It was close.
Camels!
That's all that matters, Nilly. That's all that matters. And look at the camels getting some hits. Keep in mind, this is the time Nikov wants to make a castle in the middle. And that is not going to be what we see here, you would think. But, oh, wow, pulling the weak ones back again here. Great job from Soleil. Nikov's made a castle kind of towards the center, not directly on the hill. Does have ballistics now, though. And this is where it gets tricky to play this, this hit-and-run game with your camels. You're also spending a lot of food right now if you're making camels, right? Which is another problem.
That could be a nice clear up. Honestly, Mangadais are bugging out a bit, trying to get down there. Oh, this is tricky.
Ooh, Nikov. Oh, man, he lost a Mangadai for free as well. And Nikov's down to 10 Mangadai. We'll see how much he gets away with. Okay, now cancel all your camels. Red, cancel all your camels and try and get up to the Imperial Age with a castle in the middle.
Oh, 5 camels in the queue. I think could have made a lot of sense, right? Imp could be reasonably close for both of them. Then you have the hill advantage. Plus, obviously, if both are going for traps, that means no more Mangadais for Nikov.
Yeah. Can you imagine how huge this would be for the Baguettes? Not only, like, if they were to win this, that is. Not only would it boost the confidence of Soleil, but it would ruin Nikov's confidence. And you get Gurjaras out of the way when you have to play all 4 of the new civilizations. And maybe we're wrong, Gurjaras aren't the best civilization available.
I think
He actually
Nikov's
doesn't have
confident.
anything on gold.
I think Nikov's confident doesn't matter. If he's Nikov, I don't go back into Discord with the AM boys. I just quit. I said I had internet outage. I'm not playing another game.
Okay. Man, this is a crazy engagement. I guess you can justify engaging under the castles a little bit. Yeah, he's got to use the market here, and he is going to click up to the Imperial Age right after this castle completes. Now, here's where the problems come in on both sides. Nikov If he wants to make Trebs, that means less Mangadai production. So that's an issue for him. At the same time, he's got 2 castles, about to be 3, and Saleh only has 1. So tricky situations to think about. Let's hope there's not an overchop on the wood line. Well, not an overchop, but villagers still go down. Nikov with a 30 villager lead. I completely missed that.
6 worlds down. And yeah, TCs were late. Idle TC time, as you can see, 10 minutes compared to 20 seconds. Absolutely crazy how Nikov kept everything running. And I think we need to double and triple down in the center when it comes to the castles. Also, I would like to see some camels being sent into the castle for healing.
Nikov's got 400 gold remaining. That's it.
Ooh.
He cannot get Elite Mangadai. Like, he would have to choose between Elite Mangadai and Bracer and Chemistry, I think.
Or traps.
Or Trebs.
Still.
And if you just... If Saleh can repair this, first off, he needs to be rushing Masonry right now if he hasn't already. Need to see that University to get Masonry. But, like, if he gets full armor and heavy camel and just holds this hill for a certain period of time and snipes Trebs, it's game over.
Oh, yeah.
It's that easy, nearly. That's it. Just win. Easy.
Camel's now going for the counter-attack. I'm a bit surprised by that. Quite some confidence. Nikov is trying to find and cut off some reinforcement. Oh, I think this is a big mistake if he actually tries to commit. I think he's just trying to keep Nikov honest.
Yeah, I think he's trying to keep Nikov at home a little bit. He should loop around back home. Should also be getting Masonry right now. I'm a sucker for those types of techs these days, Nilly. Like Masonry, Sanctity, all the tiny little techs. But they do add up, and we're going to have Nikov. He's going to have 2 Trebs. And we have that armor upgrade coming in for Saleh and Conscription. I kind of like this. Because it feels like if he could... Well, I'm not sure if I like it, actually. I think he needs Trebs.
I think 2 traps and then Conscription is what I would have liked.
Now, he does have a lot of stone, and he can repair.
Oh, Mangadai is out of position.
Recognizes...
Mangadai is out of position. 2 traps, unprotected.
Oh, Nikov, this is huge. He's going to lose both of these, Nilly. And now you have Conscription, and you're going to have 2 Trebs if you're Cecile.
Oh. Is he?
And he's going to run back. I don't think he's actually going to be that bothered to see the Mangadai where they are right now.
He will love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah. I have no idea why he's trying to cut off reinforcements there, Nikov. This was the moment where you needed to control the front area and then try to get onto gold. Floating quite some resources here. We need to use the market if we're Nikov.
The problem here is, can you kill that big bald Mangadai? Because Mangadai could snipe Trebs, and the castle's not doing that much damage. And look at what the Mangadai can do. Nikov returns the favor and snipes 2 like it's nothing. And he's going to make it 3. And now we have the University. But don't make the University with the villagers that are in the middle. Make the University with villagers that are at home here. Nikov in and out of the castle there, getting so many kills, and Cecile's losing army.
Ooh, camels have to disengage. We need to see more healing. That was such a nice snipe by Nikov, and the power of Mangadai is really showing off.
Yeah. A world for Nikov where he just sells... I mean, he's doing it. Just sell everything you can for gold. And it's just to put into the trebuchets. And yet again, he snipes another treb. And now he's getting Elite Mangadai. And now I'm worried for the Frenchman. Because Masonry wasn't in. He's lost all of his siege. He hasn't killed the Mangadai. And his camels are not going to get any better here.
Shiramsha Riders being added, but now cancelled. Maybe misclick there with the hotkeys. Villagers only now at 115. Was something behind in macro there, and that might have been one of the big stories there that we need to take a look back if Nikov is actually closing this one out. So far, still no real gold income. Nikov now sending villagers on the left-hand side gold.
Absolutely love the Hoardings upgrade. I forget how much it costs, but I think it's a lot of stone and wood. I don't think it costs any gold. Makes sense. So he's going to have Masonry and Hoarding, so his castles have the HP.
Yeah, I think it's 400 or something like that, and adds quite some HP. And it's absolutely worth it.
I don't know if there's much you can do now as the Grijars. I mean, he's going to try and take Nikov's attention elsewhere, which is a good idea in a sense, but it's Gold Rush. You need to have the middle. If Nikov takes the middle and Nikov has the castles. There's not a lot of civs that can really stop Mongols at this stage.
Nikov will lose a solid 15 villagers here at the bottom, but actually Nikov just dropped off the resources. He didn't really care. He's not trying to save them.
Yeah, he's like, I don't care. I've got enough castles. I just need the other resource, which is gold.
Now 17
Got 3
villagers, 1
traps.
gold.
Continuing his push.
Population lead for Salet here.
What? How? With what? Villagers? Yeah, I guess villagers.
7 villagers. It's really close.
It's
though.
funny. This whole group of Mangudai only have 9 kills. It almost doesn't
What?
feel like a real stat.
What?
Yeah, that whole group.
And that's 4 traps as well.
I guess, I mean, he will end up killing a lot. It's just Mangudai, who did all the heavy lifting earlier, I guess, have died. The unique unit for the Gujaras, not going to be too helpful here. But possibly an engagement, which is the best engagement Soleil could take because it's away from Nikov's castles. And Nikov has the speedy Mangudai, and he's just going to run right back to the castles. So Nikov's just got the better unit here, and oh my goodness, this is not going to work out for Soleil.
Micro potential from Mangudai is just absolutely crazy, fighting on the castles as well, and as we all know, camels, yeah, they can do a lot of damage, but they can also not take a lot, and that's why we see so many units die.
I want him to get a conversion because of Sanctity.
No,
Okay.
no, 150 gold wasted, confirmed, and that's why Solet lost the game.
Wait, did you say 150? Sanctity's not 150 gold.
How much is it?
Isn't it like 70 gold?
If you're Burmese.
No way it's over 100 gold. No way. It's like 70 or 80 gold, I swear.
You can swear as much as you want. I will check it now. Sanctity is 120 gold.
Oh, okay. So in between our guesses.
Professional casters, by the way.
I still think it was worth it earlier. We had 900 gold. It's fine. Man, it really looked like there was an opportunity here for Baguettes to get a win on the board. I think, honestly, you got to chalk it up to Nikov's amazing economy. He had a 30 villager lead for a lot of that game, and he made it look easy. But also, he was very creative with his Mangudai, hopping in and out of the castles. After a slight mishap there, losing his Trebs, he recovered nicely. Very impressive game from Nikov, and they get the win that they probably expected here, aftermath.
Yeah, and desperately needed, right? If you lose this game, then your whole turn, like your motivation for the next 9 games is completely shaken up, because this is something you absolutely were counting on.
Yeah, and I think Baguettes were even counting on it too, because you'll have to make sure I'm correct on this, Nilly, but whoever plays in the 1v1 cannot play in the 3v3 later, right?
Mm-hmm, correct.
So, you know, the Baguettes were like, well, you know what? Like, we don't want to use Sito, our best player, in our 1v1 just to lose him later on. So they gave Soleil a shot. And I think he played well. I think he actually had the worst civ. I think Mongols are well established anyways. The Gujaras maybe better against the civ that goes for knights. But still, it was a good, solid game to start off the series.
Pretty happy. It was an entertaining one, and I believed at one point. I truly believed.
Yeah, I mean, it's always funny how, you know, we went into the Dark Age. We saw especially the early feudal play from Nikov, and we're just like, oh boy, this is not looking too good. But then there were moments there. Soleil's like, yeah, I'm top 100. Like, respect the name a little bit more, you know? I can drag the game out. I can make it competitive. Okay, so I need to look in the Discord and see what game 2 is.
Game 2 is Enemy Archipelago. I can send
Would you
I can send,
possibly... Yeah, that'd be great.
You already know what's game 4 going to be?
Frontline?
Correct. Nice. Being put on the spot and delivering. Nice. Nice.
Ooh. Oh yeah, we talked about that. That's right. Yeah, I think the Baguettes are gonna have some fun there. I think they'll put Margot on the front, and I think he's gonna go for some crazy stuff.
Although Sito played incredibly strong as well, but I think you want Sito probably as the second player.
Yeah, no, I agree. You put Sito behind whoever's being super annoying, I think for Aftermath, they're going to want MBL
At
on
the front,
that,
yeah,
and they're
yeah.
going to want MBL to go in the front.
Yeah, I think so as well. And who goes like Hera probably third, Lyri second, Nikov fourth?
I would even consider putting Hera fourth.
Nikov third? Okay.
I mean, Aftermath's so stacked. You could switch it all around, and it would still be super good. There's no real questioning it.
Nikov here versus Sito Magu. Okay, so MBL and Nikov versus Sito and Magugu on enemy archipelago.
This will be fun. I think MBL is the perfect type of player for this type of map.
Yeah, yeah.
To explain the how it looks for those that don't remember, and this is actually a reminder for me. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're basically on the separate islands from your ally. So it's two separate 1v1s that incorporate water and land.
Yeah. Basically, team islands if two players pick the wrong team.
Okay. That's a very weird way of explaining it, but yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's
right, pretty
so you saw the lobby.
self-explanatory.
I assume they haven't launched yet.
No. They just sent the players, and we will try to figure out who hosts.
Do you use Dravidians here, maybe?
We still have Northern Isles 3v3, where you have to have Dravidians. So you can't.
Okay.
No, you can't.
Yeah, Dravidians would be too strong on water, I guess.
On Northern Isles, yeah. I think you can pick something like Italians here that are strong.
I feel like there's a good chance that Aftermath will save all 4 of the civilizations from the expansion for Game 4 again.
I think they too desperately need 5 wins here.
5-0?
Yeah. And Dravidians are super good on Northern Isles. We've seen Bengalis being played on Northern Isles as well. So I think, and won by AM. So I think they will send Bengalis and Dravidians on Northern Isles, pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm a big fan of the fact that the Baguettes are in this. I'm a big fan of the Baguettes after their performance in Return of the Clans. It's good to see, different faces, and these guys have been competitive, have been getting some wins. I think have a lot of experience yet against the big teams. They haven't had many big events, like massive events to work together, so it's cool to see. I don't know if you've ever heard this, Nilly, or like thought this when I say these words, but the Baguettes have a lot of players, with the exception of Sito, who are like in the top 100. And I say that a lot. So if I'm ever casting, it's normally like high level stuff, 1v1s. I introduce players. I just say top 100. And people, it's getting worse, man. People just continue to say that I have like 200 players inside the top 100.
Well,
I don't.
If they watch your YouTube videos for years, it also makes sense, right? Because of the top 100 is shifting more than the top 8.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think it makes sense. If people watch like your YouTube videos for 5 years, I think it's fair that you introduced like 150 people as top 100.
True. Yeah, like I could rattle off a bunch of names right now that were top 100 2 years ago that are not top 100 anymore. So, yeah, it's true. It's just funny to think about.
My chat is saying you have also 20 players in the top 10.
And I have someone saying that I have 30 players in the top 15. Get it right, guys.
Makes sense.
But it depends on the moment, I suppose. I don't know. It's hard to think about those things in the moment you're saying it sometimes.
How do you introduce yourself?
Me? Pro farmer, obviously. That's the first thing.
Top 50?
Like if I... Top 50 player?
Mm-hmm.
No way. I'm a top 100 ladder player who is unproven in tournaments.
Till we had a 2v2 tournament recently.
That's true. I mean, listen, I've had a good month, man. I've had a good month. Getting some wins against Nikov and Kapoch and then beating Lix last weekend. Not bad.
Must be nice.
But it's still... I watched the Rex afterwards and I didn't feel too good because I don't think Lix played too well. And it was the same when we beat Nikov and Kapoch. I think Kapoch
Also,
was not himself.
Lux 1v1 is a different person than Lux in team games.
Yeah. I mean, he's still a really good 1v1 player, but he's not really a player who transitions well, which you have to do in 1v1s. You give Lix a role, whether it's making archers or sneaking villagers or booming, you give him a role and he's super good at committing to that. But all the transitional stuff, not the best. He is 2k3 though. As I say that, he's 2k3 at rank 50th. So
yeah, pretty sick.
All right. Enemy Archipelago. I'm ready, man.
Well, everyone is ready except MBL.
Yeah, scheduling with MBL is a full-time job.
Tell me something.
Yeah, it's I mean, to be fair, you know, he's working full-time and all that, and has less availability than I do. But
well, you're also working full-time.
This is true, but it involves Age of Empires, so.
Okay.
But like, I think that MBL's confidence in our team with 2v2s shut up after the first set because he literally said, which is like really not a good thing to say to your teammate, but he was like, let's see how fast this 5-0 is when we were up against Nikov Kapoch, which didn't instill a lot of confidence in me, to be honest. And then I'm like drafting and he's playing WoW, and then I'm trying to talk about civs and he's playing chess. So when we're in the game, it's good. You know, the other stuff is taking some adapting for me.
Oh yeah, he's a special human being.
But I still have so much fun.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
Yeah,
And we've performed well, so I can't complain.
I think if we grew up together, we would be really good friends. If we only met each other in real life.
You mean MBL?
Yeah, MBL.
Yeah, but like the admin in you and
the admin in me is having a hard time with him.
Yeah, I get that. I think a lot of people have changed for better or worse over the last 7 years, and this isn't just Age of Empires. You know, that's life. MBL has pretty much stayed the same. If anything, MBL has become more of himself over the last few years, you know? I think there's something to appreciate about that. But the being late thing is really annoying. What is this, 2016? Like, come on. Actually, what's the longest you've ever had to wait to cast a tournament set? What's the biggest delay you've ever had? And it can't be like a tournament getting canceled and then being postponed.
No. I think Clash of the Hippo Finals, Stout Viper. I think we waited an hour and 45 minutes.
And I assume you're waiting for Doubt?
Correctly assumed.
Yep. Now, I had the absolute mother of all delays, and it was between two players. If you had to guess the two players, I think it was 2015 or 2016. What two players would you guess?
Fire?
It was... Okay.
15, 16. And Influencer.
Influenza. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. No. It was Fire and Doubt.
Fire Doubt, okay, that combo. I think it was too obvious as Fire Doubt, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Fire Doubt. I believe it was 2 hours. It was Masters of Arena 3.
Okay.
And it was, like, back then there was no Discord, right? So it was just AoE zone threads, which made it so much more painful.
Oh, yeah.
And so I got on. Dave was with me. We got on to cast. And this was back in, like, the 7 viewer days, too. So, like, there was not very many people to talk to in chats either.
Yeah, okay.
And it was like, we got on, and then 20 minutes later, Fire posted, we need to delay another like 30 or 40 minutes because I'm late. And then I guess Fire was there, and then Doubt was like, I'm not home for another hour.
What?
And then they got online and they sat in the lobby for like 20 minutes. And that was, it was like over 2 hours.
Sick.
Dave and I had an hour-long conversation on which was better, meatloaf or shepherd's pie.
Okay.
I remember that clear as day.
Well, I think it made it way easier to have Dave around in those situations.
Oh yeah, for sure. If I would have been solo, I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah, I would have played like Minesweeper.
I'm more of a battleship guy myself, but that's fine. Why not call the guy on his cell phone? Well, it was a different time back then, right?
Also, if he says he's not at home for 45 minutes, what would you call them about?
But I have used WhatsApp to contact players more times than I'd like to admit if they're late for something.
I've done it multiple times. Do you still remember like the one time I talked with Fire as well? And he said he had a power outage. And to prove that he had a power outage, he sent me a picture of a lamp that was not turned on. So basically not burning light bulb. And he said like, power outage, I can't play.
Oh my god, that's funny. I mean, okay, so that's such a poor way of proving it that you almost have to believe it. You know?
Yeah, I would believe him 100%. I believe him 100%.
Yeah.
Different story, Nikov and Fire arriving in Hamburg, trying to get to my place. And I said, like, send me a picture so I could find you and actually guide you where you need to go. And, oh, that's not the right map. And
Oh, they loaded up, but it's incorrect map.
Yeah.
Ooh, it might be glitched because of team positions.
Yeah. This is not the right map.
Is there a special version of Enemy Archipelago, or is this just bug?
Yeah, we are using. We even had it discussed the other time, and even Nikov knew about it, right?
Apparently not. Okay.
This game won't count. I'm not sure, like, why they're not realizing.
Well, they don't know. Well, I guess the land itself might be shaped differently, but they definitely don't know the other islands out there.
Settings are weird for this one.
we did just have like a 30-minute tell-all about how preparation can be.
Yeah, especially like we already
lacking.
discussed this one earlier. Use the Return of the Clans version of the map. Yeah, so don't get overexcited for this one.
Not yet.
The two maps, like the two islands at the bottom, are fine, but they just spawned on like an 8-player size map as well.
Yeah, that can happen.
So people get the idea of the map.
Storytelling, to be honest.
Okay, we can continue with storytelling.
That was good. Yeah, we'll see. We'll speculate about the civs when we get in. But yeah, that set between Fire and Doubt was the worst, and that was back when like Doubt never spoke. He didn't post on forums. He didn't have any social medias. He was known, like, we used to joke about how Doubt was co-casting with us. We'd be like, Doubt, what do you have to say? And then just silence, because he would never give interviews, never speak. It's still crazy to me how different it is now. Like how outgoing he is and how known his personality is.
I will try to do some admin work here, so you can tell some more stories if you wanted to.
Yeah, sure. That's what I'm here for.
Nice.
I don't know if they left the other game yet.
We are already hosting the new one, yeah.
Ah, okay. Cool. Well, I mean, the topic was being delayed and late for stuff. Oh, I got an embarrassing one. So my old routine was I would be like work or school or whatever. and I wanted to maximize my time and be able to stream as much as possible with all my free time. So I would get home and I wouldn't have eaten. I'd need to eat and I'd need to shower, and then I want to stream. And so, like, I was a big deal. I was averaging like 60 viewers. So I was like, I got to let people know I'm live. How do I do this? I was like, I know I'll get home from work or school. I'll go live with a 40-minute countdown, which would give me time to eat and shower, do whatever I need to do, and then come on. And that was like, I don't know how long, like maybe a couple month period. But that was just what I did.
Okay.
And looking back, I'm like, why'd you do that? That's like ridiculous. Like, who would show up and then stay there
Sounds
for
like
that long?
sounds like Hera Sabaton. Let's do 12 hours today and half an hour countdown.
Right?
Right?
Yeah, I don't know. There were no subs involved either. It was just I want people to know I'm live.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Okay, a game should be launching, plus we now should have the right map. And 2 minutes.
Keyword should.
Yeah. We will see.
Oh yeah, it has it says ROTC's enemy archipelago, so it should be good.
That's the map that I was told should have the right generation.
Have we seen this yet in any of the other days, or is this the first time?
First time, yeah.
First time, gotcha.
So apparently I need to continue the story with Hera and Nikov. So Hera and not Hera, Nikov. Nikov and Fire. They are arriving in Hamburg. Like, we had 3 messages back and forth trying to guide them to the train station that they needed to go. I told them, be at the train station, don't go upstairs. I will be at the platform. I arrive at the platform, call them, like, where are you? Yeah, we went upstairs. Okay, thank you. I go upstairs, I can't find them, and I'll tell them, yeah, do you see any, like, road signs? No road signs. And I said, okay, just send me a send me a picture of you, and I will know where it is, and then I will go get you. And what are they sending me? A selfie.
Of, like, they sent a selfie. Like you forgot what they looked like, and that was the issue. Yeah, like that's the issue here, boys. Oh my god.
Oh, that was tricky.
I never heard that one. That's funny.
Oh, that was like I found them quickly afterwards because like the selfie itself had a weird sign of something that I guessed. Okay, it could be that building, and then I went to that building, tried to recreate the angle, and then I found them. But it was still like so much more pain than what I thought what it would be. But still, lovely people, and I love them to death. But
yeah, of course.
There were some stories.
Well, Nilly, we have arrived. This is exactly what we wanted to see. We've got enemy archipelago here. In the red, we've got Sito for the Baguettes, playing as the Japanese. And then in the blue, we have Nikov, who's on the other team, playing as the Portuguese. And then the yellow, you've got Margu, playing for the Baguettes, playing Koreans. And then he's up against MBL, Mr. Chaos himself, playing as the Japanese as well. Should be a fun one.
Indeed, should be a fun one. And this is a tricky one, right? You have to fight the opponent eventually on land, but you also kind of want to fish. You also kind of want to go into water. And that's one of the reasons why we go for Japanese here, because, well, your fishing ships are simply better, die slower, plus man-at-arm aggression could be an option. So, feels like a very strong choice.
Yeah, now they had free pick of civilizations, but no repeat throughout the series. And then throughout this whole play all 5 set, they have to use all of the newer civilizations at least once. But we're not going to see any of those civs here. I don't really think any of those civs would have suited this too much, except for the Dravidians. But as you mentioned, there's going to be another water-esque map where the Dravidians will probably be saved for the future games.
Honestly, like, the settings, not that great for AM in this one. So they will really have to work hard to get those 4 or 5 wins even. If I think about AM, I don't typically think like, okay, enemy archipelago and Northern Isles, the maps where they will shine. But so far, pretty clean performances in their previous sets.
Well, I would agree with you, but I think Nikov MBL is by far their best choice for this type of map. Nikov is probably the best hybrid map player available for Aftermath. I mean, he's top tier against anyone. And then, as Margu has gone for a very painful board lord that I can't look at anymore. MBL is the type of guy that you want to play 1v1s in chaotic situations. And so he has his 1v1. He also is up against the worst player on the other team. Now, not that Margu's bad, but he's no Sato. So I think this could work out for Aftermath. I really do.
Well, let's see about that. And we mentioned multiple times, right? AM clearly aiming for 5 wins here. They want to win every single one, and well, they're pretty deep and pretty good players there. So it feels like 3v3, 4v4 should even go heavier in their favor. Plus, remember, now with this lineup, the final 2v2 will be Leary paired with Hera.
So I told you, MBL and I's mission, our goal in the 2v2 tournament we're playing together, create chaos. He told me after he's like, we need more chaos next time. I said, okay. And that was the extent of our conversation. And he's Japanese. You expect a fish boom with Japanese and Feudal Age play with Japanese. What you don't expect is this. And here he comes, 2 forward villagers, his research loom, and he's here to kill villagers, but Margugu gets the walls down, and MBL says, okay, I'm just going to wall in your lumber camp now.
Oh god, and Koreans, well, they have to invest the full 100 wood to build another lumber camp here compared to the 2 Japanese players that we have in this game. Also, fish not really running in, and well, at least you have lots of stragglers, right? 5 stragglers around? That's solid for Magugu.
Yeah, I mean, I would be worried over MBL if he wasn't fishing, but he is fishing. That's good to see, but he's not fishing, interestingly enough, where Sato is docked. So that's actually good for MBL too, because Sato is the enemy on the other side in the other island. And if Sato were to find that, it'd be a pretty easy snipe for him in the next stage, you think.
And that's the big reason why this is not 2 1v1s. Because sniping the opponent on water is just so important. And it's a weird choice that AM decides to have both of them in the center and kind of play the team game together. And the Baguettes decided to go on to the outside. So they, I would think, aren't contesting water a lot.
Yeah, and well, I do think that having Portuguese is certainly going to help if you're Nikov, because Portuguese means you can see what your ally's up to, free cartography. So now if MBL is not contesting water, he knows exactly where to go. Also, I just noticed Nikov scouting perfect. Scouted the upper shoreline, didn't see anything. Scouted the southern shoreline, sees the dock. So he knows exactly what's going on. Look at Sato's scouting. Sato might be on the way to Feudal Age, but he doesn't know where that dock is. He's just assuming an awful lot.
Oh, yeah, push deer heavily, now sends 2 villagers to the front. This is actually man-at-arm opening by Sato. Oh, but not the fastest one ever. Second lumber camp now coming in, and he's pretty blind.
Yeah, this is super blind. I'm loving Nikov's scouting. He's seen everything. And also, look at MBL. He's walling in that gold with these villagers. I think with walling in the lumber camp, and now a forward barracks from MBL. MBL's just been crazy over here. And Margu is choosing to take the other gold and maybe just assumes that the main gold is walled in.
Maybe he knows. The deer were shot as well, so he knows that villagers still had to be around there.
Should he have contested that, do you think? Should he have sent 2 villagers in his scout out, or was it the correct play to not do that?
Well, then the opponent just runs over. If you have a defensive gold and your safe woodlines, I think it's totally fine.
Okay. Now, MBL also has scouted where the dock is for Margu. So there's always potential for maybe Nikov to send a fire or something up there. And Nikov, since he scouted the barracks, he knows exactly what Sato is planning on. And Illy, you're right. It's just 2 militia. It's not 3. It was not super well timed for Sato. Nikov has been walling up behind this.
And this time, maybe towards the TC. Should buy him enough time, and then maybe going double dock water. Should win the water, then fully walled and home. And the defense should be easy.
Someone just said, this isn't Team Islands? I'm confused. Why did he wall the gold? No, this is enemy archipelago, my friends. They are on an island they share with the enemy on both sides. I could see, can you imagine showing up late, though? And not seeing the map, being like, this is the weirdest Islands game ever.
True. Like the worst teammate ever, MBL.
He's walling out MBL so he doesn't steal his boar or something, yeah. I just love how AM have played this with their scouting. And look at Nikov sending his galleys towards Margu's dock. I think that will pay off. And he has... Nikov and MBL have just looked so solid thus far. It's just that MBL is going to be a little late to Feudal compared to his player.
But still lots of aggression coming from his end. Should be dropping the archer range at home. Indeed, that's what he's doing, and already starting to wall off as well. Plus the solid fish, so I really like the position for MBL.
Yeah, the only thing for him is just the range. Very weird. He has a range on the front, but he also has a range next to his TC. So I have to imagine that he thinks the other one's being built, or he meant to cancel it. I'm not sure what's happening there. We're coming back from the pause now, so players have to get everything together, and yeah, MBL is going to make the second range there instead. I actually think that gold wall-in is going to be a really big talking point. Because there's going to be a point where he needs that, and it's going to be so inconvenient for him to take it.
But still, if the full deer decays, you only need to kill one single palisade, and you have a 2-tile opening. So 4 villagers can easily work there after you killed one single palisade.
That's a good call. Yeah, I guess MBL shot the deer on that tile, so we couldn't make a palisade there. A double range for MBL does have a safe fish boom. Satoa, had there been communication with Margu, could have looped around with his fires and hit MBL, who's not on water. And you can see the fire ship for Satoa searching right now. He's searching on the wrong side for damage.
Yeah.
But he does have archers already on Nikov.
Do we have proper scouting from Margugo here? He didn't scout the dock. He had no idea. Oh,
that's a big deal.
Yeah, really, like, we mentioned multiple times, scouting so much better. And obviously, Portuguese helps out as well for Nikov.
Yep. Yeah, that was going to be what I said next. It's just like, and then you don't need to constantly ask for communication and signaling when everyone's stressed out. I think Portuguese... I mean, their team bonus is just so nice, Nilly. It's so cool. I think it's one of the better team bonuses that were introduced over the last few years. I forget when it was exactly. It might have been more than just a few years. Maybe it was like 4 or something, but...
Well, Portuguese, aren't they, like, African Kingdoms expansion?
Yeah, but didn't they have something else, or am I wrong?
I thought they always had this one.
Okay, well, I'm wrong then. Nikov sniped an archer with his scout, also defended from his archers, and Nikov's looking super good. MBL's got a transport ship right now.
Ooh,
He's got a transport ship.
Oh, this is so good. This is so good.
It could be good, but Sato's got a fire ship there.
Well, MBL doesn't care.
Oh, man. Oh, that's the last thing Sato's ever going to expect. Now, the positive would be the fact that he is going to have range units of his own, but I don't know if he's going to have the numbers. And as Sato sells all of his stones so we can go faster castle age, he's not going to be able to tower. Oh, the timing on this is huge.
And villagers here, look at that. Triple radar houses being built, but not in time. We'll lose at least 1 villager, likely to be 2 here. MBL fletching only now finished.
Yep, great job from MBL. And takes him off of both wood lines, Nilly.
Oh, yeah.
And now what should happen is Nikov can focus fully on water. We actually have a transport from Margu, though. And Sato is protecting that on the other side. And Nikov's archers have actually left his base. So this could do a similar amount of damage. This is exciting, Nearly. It's 107 pop for Aftermath. They are ahead in this game. But I'm kind of pulling for Deceptive Baguettes to get some damage in here because I want to see this game go late.
Oh, but look at that. It is spotted instantly. Double house being dropped. Tower goes up as well. Impossible that Magu gets more than 2-3 villager kills here.
That was so good. I mean, the reaction, the immediate house wall around the berries, the tower, the timing. Maybe sensed it a little bit. Now we'll pull his army back. And funnily enough, as we have the transport for MBO trying again, look at that. He gets away from the fires. Funnily enough, we haven't seen a lot of fighting between MBL and Margu.
Yeah, well, both know...
They've just kind of been chilling out.
Yeah, they both know, okay, we have an archer range and we are walled. So, like, what can we achieve with, like, sending 5 archers towards our opponent?
MBL could transport around the walls. I think that's what he's going for right now. He also knows exactly where that gold is because of his house from earlier. Oh, no way. No way, dude.
But 3 archers on the hill.
Right to the gold.
Let's take a look. MBL obviously will focus on it a bit more. And those archers, no!
It's the last thing Margu expected. Why would you expect MBL to transport to you? You would expect him to go to the walls, then you'd have time, and MBL all over this, kills the archers, delays the golden come, and all 4 players are on the way to the next stage.
Whew, pretty equal timings, right? Sick.
Also, good clear up from Nikov on his peninsula in the back of his base. He cleared up all that sneak.
Well,
Just a lot of control right now for Aftermath. They have embraced the chaos. They've added to the chaos. They've made this look so easy. And now Sito's going to have problems on water, I think, because Nikov's still got a lot more navy.
Yeah.
I think what Sito has to do is I think he has to accept he's going to lose water, and I think he has to go all in crossbow siege push against Nikov.
Yeah, I think so as well. Fishing ship count is 16 to 3. So big advantage, and those 3 might die pretty soon as well. So water will be lost. You need to make something happen on land here, and it kind of has to be an all-in.
Marku placed another mining camp foundation next to the gold that he can't take right now. I'm not loving that that efficiency if he finishes it, and I'm not loving investing 100 wood into that.
I'm a bit surprised as
well.
well.
Fact is, he hasn't had gold, so he needs some gold, and maybe he's... I mean, clearly he's going to be a bit distracted, and MBL knows this and says, okay, I'm going to boom. Adds a second TC at Castle Age. Knows he's ahead, just wants to stay ahead.
Gold still taken away. Where's third gold for Magugu? Oh, far out there at the right-hand side. And that's why we are so limited here. Magugu only 4 on gold.
Sito is going to still be competitive on water. He's actually taking the best fight he could possibly get, but he's still not going to win this fight. He still will lose those fires. Is making a demo, is making some more fire ships, though, so he's not dead on water. And he's actually ahead of Nikov for the time being on land. But I think the key is he has to beat Nikov as badly as MBL is about to beat Margu. Like, that's the key here. And then we, in theory, have 2 separate 1v1s. But, man, MBL looks so far ahead right now.
Well, fish, right? Also adding to extra town center, siege workshop, and there's no answer to a siege workshop. Magugu has a siege workshop himself, but so far behind. Economy is not pretty. Look at the wood lines.
Yeah. Also, MBL, arguably the best with Mangonel Micro in the game. He's incredible at forward siege workshop play. He's actually adding a second siege workshop.
No way. Oh, God, this guy.
It feels like such a waste to me, but he's like, yeah, just the only way I lose is if I get outmassed with siege, so let's just do more. Ballistics is in for Sito and not Nikov. So Nikov's losing some crossbows on the front of his base right now. Great micro from Sito as well. And he's going for siege. Nikov could die to this type of a push. Now, he's got a better chance of defending, but this is still awkward for him as we see crossbows from Margu on the back of Nikov's base. Again, Nikov scouts it, though. And he's going to add a tower, but still looks very dicey for Nikov economically.
That's even more fishing ships. And yeah, as you said, like Nikov just needs to defend. And Nikov has the siege workshop a bit earlier. And the hill in favor for Sito means Nikov like will lose some part of his base, but it's not a crucial part of his base.
Well, big moment here is about to shift the populations. Look at Sito. Great job from him to not lose focus on water. He'll take out MBL's fish, and if he continues to move that direction, he could take Nikov's fish.
Ooh, but Nikov now queues up more fire ships as well. 3 on the field, goes for 3 more, and obviously Portuguese bonus should have more HP and cheaper on gold. Crossbows at the top could be big.
Here for Nikov. Oh, we got units to look at everywhere right now. By the way, guard tower for Margu. It is free, but he cannot place them comfortably right now. He's really worried about this.
A bit at the top there. Could even die. Villagers low HP there, and the tower, I think. Ooh.
Good micro.
Nice pull.
Good work. But MBL gets a shot anyway. Oh my god, dude.
Under TC fire.
That was so sick. Like, Margu thought at the very least there he'd get a 1-for-1.
Yeah.
Because MBL's was weak. And his was full HP. But, you know, didn't happen for him. And now we see the micro for Nikov. And Nikov loses one.
Yep, nice play by
Nikov
Sito.
loses one. He's got 1 TC and he's running out of wood right now. So if they also lose water, which I don't think they will, but it's always a possibility, could be dangerous.
Oh.
Another shot for Sito.
Seems like the players on the right are a bit better with the Mangonel micro here. Typically, the defender should have an advantage. But MBL and Cito really on point.
Okay, I think key for Nikov is you have to make sure that while you're losing all this here, obviously you delay it as long as possible, but you also contribute on water, and maybe even tell MBL, don't let us lose water right now. Because MBL's super far ahead. The only way that Nikov's still fine if his TC goes down is if they still have control of water, so... But man, this micro is
TC
intense.
that important?
I mean, if he doesn't have the TC and he doesn't have the workshop, everything here dies.
Okay, yes.
So, yeah,
Siege Workshop. I think the Siege Workshop is the key building here.
Yeah.
By Nikov.
Well, I mean, he's repairing his TC and doesn't have the wood for the next Mangonel because of it. And, it goes down. Yikes, dude. This is pretty intense right now. Like, at this point in time, MBL's like, Nikov, hold. I'm destroying him. And then Sato is saying the same. But look at redemption payoff for Nikov. He converted the mango. He converted it. Oh, this is intense.
TC still goes down. And now there was a lot of gold invested. Siege Workshop still can't produce. Nikov only now gets enough wood again to build another one. Only
There's
one monastery.
towers. It's hard for MBL to push in here. He's added knights, though. He's going to try his best to use those knights. What about... I'd like to see MBL transport over 5 knights to Sato's Eco.
Ooh, yeah. We should have seen more landings for sure. Like,
Yeah.
A crossbow alone.
Yeah. I mean, the type of push MBL is going for is really tricky. Like, right now, he's starting to lose, probably because he's thinking about something else, like his farming eco. Let's see if Margu can dig himself out of this hole right now.
Seems like somewhat holding.
Yeah, he still can't... Oh, my God, that attack round.
It's just so good.
Oh, my God. And he gets another attack round, which actually connects.
Minus 10 HP.
It's just so terrifying to ever push out against MBL. He gets another one. This dude's insane with Mangonels. Like, the timing of the release and the movement and the positioning is... I think he's been the best Mangonel micro player for, like, 5 years. Is that a bold enough statement?
That's bold, but I couldn't name anyone who would be more fitting
Who's
for
better.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think
Yeah.
Teto is crazy good, but it just feels like MBL might specifically be number one, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the MBL holding that position with all the siege. Nikov about to lose his siege workshop. Again, if MBL were to transport over with something to Sato's base, Sato would have some big problems. Or at least he would get distracted, right?
And that's something Cito couldn't do, right? Cito, or
Yeah.
could he afford sending his 13 crossbows over? And do something, but MBL is set up with like 3 towers, can easily send a Mangonel back.
Yeah. Well, the reason I said knights instead of crossbows at this stage is just because MBL's economy is so good.
What is
And
Nikov
he's
even
gonna have cheap
landed?
guarding.
Nikov landed Magugu in the back. And is now
Wait,
going
where?
away. He had 5
with the
crossbows
crossbows.
landed.
Look at Nikov's stonewall. Can we talk about Nikov's stonewall on the back of his base? What is he worried about?
Scared of the relic, apparently.
Is he worried about someone raiding his woodline or something?
By the way,
I mean, obviously he's super stressed. Oh, he's imping right now. I didn't see that.
yeah, 13 fishing ships still really
Wow.
paying off. And yeah, then it's obviously like super scary for Cito. I think the moment Nikov
Yeah.
gets Bracer, Cito can't do anything anymore.
Also, if you have low eco with Portuguese, you can make a Feitoria or 2. Also, you could get the monk upgrades to give your monks more range to definitely convert the siege. Imp was a huge play here for Nikov. And MBL, I think, is about to dive. He does dive. He goes in with the knights. He's bringing all of his siege. There's actually a lot of crossbowmen for Margugu. And he's doing a good job to repair his Mangonel here, but I think he will still lose it. And I think he will still lose the towers here.
Look at all the Mangonels rolling forward. Now Rams dealing with all this, splitting off Mangonels. I don't even know where they should shoot.
I guess he's going for the crossbows. He could attack around the towers, to be honest.
Oh,
Yeah, he's going for the crossbows back there. But he knows it doesn't really matter. He knows if he loses these, the towers will be down. And MBL's been so far ahead for so long here, as he's gonna finish off Margu here. And I think Sito, like I think he played really well, but he was never close to being that far ahead of Nikov.
Yeah.
If you compare the north to the south.
Well, him simply having only one fishing ship compared to the 13 to 15 for a very long time just was a big difference.
And it was crazy for Nikov, but he did such a good job holding. I think the monks, the siege, everything that he did, adding the fish, as you mentioned, was more than enough to hold it. And he just had all the faith in the world that MBL was going to stomp on the other side. This is all in Castle Age. MBL doesn't need Imperial Age. Margu is at 10 pop.
We have to say Nikov had a really good map in defending. In the sense that he had double gold and stone backwards,
he did.
plus 3 wood lines. So, and it's a very choky area, I would think.
Yeah, I agree. Whereas like Margu, it was a bit more open, and he's got two forward golds and a stone. But you have to make the most of it. Margu could get defeated here. He's trying to build the TC on Sato's side. He's shown up here to save himself, and he chose the wrong spot. Oh, that's funny.
And Sito really has to like be screaming at Margugu here to not resign. If one player is pop 7 in 38 minutes, and it's in 4v4, I have seen something wild happen, but in a 2v2, you have like, what's that? Like 130 pop to 290?
Yeah, man. Well, Margu will actually kill the Arbalest here. So that's a start. It feels like there's just going to be more. By the way, Nikov's
the start of what, Tristan? The start for what?
Yeah, that's true. Maybe they're not close to the start button being pressed here.
Okay.
I love that. I love how you're like, I have genuinely no clue what to say right now.
I actually considered going into Discord and writing, Hera, could you host the 3v3, please? But, yeah.
That would be rude.
As a professional admin, I would never do such thing.
No, and you wouldn't even think about it. No. You wouldn't even think about it.
Reboom is happening now.
All right. Now, imagine if the Portuguese player was the one that was near defeated, and they brought it back with Fetorius. Like, I would see more of an argument for staying in here if you were Portuguese. But being Koreans, it's just like, you're moral support right now. That's it. There's nothing else you contribute.
It's also like full skirms by Sito. He doesn't really have any siege. If he had like 8 rams or something, I could maybe. Okay.
But I will say this: MBL. Oh, they called the GG now. Okay, obviously, but like MBL's pop did not affect Sito in any way at this point.
Yeah.
Right. So like until MBL got his pop over to the other side or made Navy, which he was going to, it wasn't an issue. But that was still a really fun game. I think from the get-go here, MBL showed his dominance over Margu. Like walling in the lumber camp, walling in the gold, which I think MBL might have done because he was annoyed that happened to him from the Baguettes in a previous tournament, by the way. That was solid. The coordination and the scouting from MBL and Nikov to know where their player's dock was, communicate that to the other, and know, are they going man-at-arms? Are they going archers? Combined with everything else was just exceptional and Feudal, and I think all the tiny little things they did in the earlier stages of the game brought them to the position they found in Castle. It was a fun one.
Yeah, and when we thought about this map, we instantly thought about MBL and him being so good on this.
Yep. Yeah, and it was just... He's just an awful player to play against. And honestly, Nikov and MBL, they played together many times before in 2v2 tournaments, or they just stack 2v2 in these types of situations, and they just match up against each other nicely. MBL gets given a wacky job, get ahead of his player, stick to his guy, and then Nikov, he can kind of spread himself out here, and he was able to do that. He hit the fish from Margu, he was on the fish from Sito. Nikov was able to balance both worlds. It was a lovely game from AM. Honestly, didn't see many of the other games from AM in the previous days, but that was impressive. Like the first 15 minutes was just stellar scouting and everything. I loved it.
Still on course to get the full win of the tournament. They need 5 today, 3 tomorrow. or maybe 4 today, 4 tomorrow.
Still on course, and we will have no Nikov for the next game, correct?
Correct. No Nikov and no Salet.
All right, so no Nikov. So we have to expect it's going to be Hera, probably Leary, and then MBL. I don't know. Has Hart played at all?
That fits very likely. Hart has not played. Hart has been giving some moral support. In TeamSpeak has been around, but has not played.
Okay. Well, if it's Northern Isles as well, I bet you Hart is going to want to stay a mile away from that.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, yeah, so kind of just to recap for the group, everyone, if they haven't seen Liquipedia, before this set, there was a 8-point gap between Aftermath and Suomi, who's first in the group. However, that was after Suomi had finished all of their games. So what Aftermath is shooting for is to get 5 wins here and go up to 10 points before the final set they play tomorrow to hopefully get 3 or more victories against GamerLegion.
Which will be a tough task for them tomorrow. And tomorrow against GamerLegion we have not a single water map, but very boomy maps. Oh, actually, well, a mix. Regicide Fortress, Hideout, Enclosed, then 4v4 Land Madness, and then Haboob.
Honestly, the less water, the better it is for AM, I think.
The less water, the better for AM. Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah.
Interesting.
If you want to rewatch a game, rewatch Baguettes against Suomi, 4v4 Haboob. That was pretty damn sick. Yeah.
I imagine there was a lot of like team structure and it went very late.
Yeah, it went to Imp and like all 8 people like fighting in the center, massive armies, like honestly like 350 military clashing against each other.
Sick. Yeah, I think I saw some clips from that. I remember it being difficult to judge who was going to win a fight, and I was watching it, and I was just like, I think the side with elephants is going to win. And I don't remember, I don't know if that's the game.
Yeah, it actually was. It was Green Elephants by... Oh no, was it? Bengalis Elephant by Rubenstock. Yeah.
So, I feel like... So I like the Siege Elephant edition. I think it's a cool concept. But I'm a little underwhelmed by the options for the newer civs otherwise thus far. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, they don't excite me too much yet.
That's where I'm at as well. You know, the unique units seem very situational, which is not rare, right? That is common in some senses with Age of Empires 2. The tech trees seem quite restricted for many of these newer civs. And then, you know, I just end up thinking, well, what bonuses are they just going to use economically? And their economy bonus, I think, are actually the most exciting things about the new civs, because we have different build orders and different ways of playing the early game with Garjaras, for example. But maybe to just take more time to really figure out where these civs fall in line. There's a lot of confusion at the moment.
Yeah. Well, we will see. Obviously, also remember, it's not really fair how we threw in those civilizations, because they are now always being tested with the S tier civilizations on those maps.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe it would have been something if we had like some more bands plus then free picks on those maps. Then they would have been close to 50-50, I believe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. My outlook these days is that you want the best players playing with the best civilizations. It makes for better strategic games. I think it makes for more exciting games. Now, if repetitiveness is an issue, then, you know, and predictability is an issue, then maybe you incorporate a different system where there's a little more bands or snipes or whatever. But I like the way you've done it here, is basically what I'm saying.
I also decided to not go for any new maps, right? Those are all absolutely standard Age of Empires maps that everyone has access to. Because, like, if you need to learn the new civs and the new maps, I think it would have been really wild.
Yeah, that would lead to a lot more delays in between games. Players are checking the maps. I think for a 5-game series or for a 5-game event, I think that was the right play as well. You want to do like a month-long event with different maps, then players are like, okay, let's learn for this whole month. But I think this is good. And it's not like these maps, even though they're not new, when's the last time you saw a 2v2 enemy archipelago? Like, there's been a lot of examples of maps shaking it up, I guess.
Yeah. I think it has been really diverse. Obviously, it's also like, it's tricky to fall into like the situation that it feels repetitive and unfresh because like the XVX system changes every game.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah.
So, an idea I might implement for an event is you do a team game tournament, right? And then you have a mix. So let's say we'll use 2v2s, 3v3s, 4v4s. You set game 1, let's say 2v2, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The losing team gets to pick the next map, but the losing team also gets to select if it's a 2v2, 3v3, or 4v4.
Ooh. But that could force a lot of people unnecessarily waiting. Let's say you have 4 people there.
Pool, yeah. The prize pool would have to be high enough to justify that waiting.
Okay.
Like, you know, it's like, oh, we have to wait, but like this is a massive opportunity in prize pool for you know.
Okay.
But yeah, it's an idea because some teams are better in 2v2s, 3v3s, 4v4s.
But then also, like, how do you design your teams? Let's think, like, if you have 4 strong players, do you rather want to send 2 teams? Do you want to send 1 team?
It's tricky.
Yeah. I think it's a bit of a problem with the bench. I think it's something that you could make, like something like this, like a show match, but a full tournament shouldn't really be like that. Or at least I see some problems with it now.
I see some problems with it if it's 2v2s, 3v3s, and 4v4s. I think it's less so if it's a combination of 2v2 and 3v3. Or like if there's one player variance.
Yeah, exactly.
You could do 3v3s and 4v4s, or you could do 2v2s and 3v3s. That way, because a lot of teams already have one bench player anyways. So it's just one player waiting.
Okay.
Unless it's like GamerLegion doesn't have, like, you guys have 6 players, I think, right? So maybe there's a world where you guys would just field one team, and then I don't know. I could see how for teams it would be awkward. Someone said 2v2 with player snipe. Nah, I mean, along the same lines, I want the best players playing. I want the best civilizations available. Player snipe would just lead to big names not playing and participating. And when you sign up to play a tournament, you sign up to play. You don't sign up to get sniped.
Also would be like very repetitive snipes, right? Where would you think, okay, this is the map where I rather want to snipe another player than the Viper?
Yeah, exactly.
Where would be like a map where you would rather snipe someone else than Citeaux in Baguettes?
If you want to implement that system, you should just host a tournament where the top 20 players can't play. Here you go.
I'm all
then
for
you
that.
Have your matchups.
But even then, like, there's always a best player in a team, right?
Yeah. Just thoughts, you know, ideas. Always going round and round in my head.
Yeah, Viper doesn't get to play tournaments. Yeah.
All right, so I think we'll see the civs here in a moment. I believe they have actually launched.
I believe so as well.
Looks like it. Wow, we are seeing the Bengalis and the Dravidians, and it's a moment like this I'm actually reminded of the fact that Bengalis have the healing ships.
15 HP generated every minute.
It says every minute, but it trickles in like a relic trickles gold, nearly. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
Well, a relic does 30 every minute.
Well, I understand, but when I saw the description and it said that it heals every minute, I thought, like, every minute in that ship's existence, it would get a certain amount of health. You know, that was what my brain processed that information. But no, it's like 1, 2, 3. It just slowly builds up. And I saw a few Islands games with it.
What? Explain that again.
I don't think I'm explaining it properly. Like, okay, so like if I take damage to my ship, it instantly starts to heal is my point.
Yeah. Like a relic, if you drop it, it instantly starts to generate gold.
Yeah, exactly. But the way it was described is, I don't think it says it generates X amount per minute.
I thought that's what it said.
Whatever description had me confused originally. I'll actually look when we get into the game, and then we can cast. Bengalis.
Ships regenerate 15 HP per minute.
Okay, I don't know what I was talking about then. But I was thinking it was like after the minute would conclude, it would get the 15 HP.
Ah.
You know?
That's not linear. Okay. Yeah. So that's like the regeneration, like you wanted the stone drop off.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. But it's actually
also
like
think
how
about
it
like
is.
I don't know how berserks are described after Berserker Gang, but it just says that the units heal. Right? It doesn't say how much it does per period of time. So for me, when they gave it an amount, my brain went, "Oh, it's going to heal 15 HP when that minute concludes," which is obviously wrong. Okay. Anyways, here we are. People are trying to understand my brain. Northern Isles, originally a map that was a 1v1 map, not a team game map, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And was also not meant for RM. Or not, shouldn't say not meant for RM. Obviously, it can work. But yeah, we've got RM here, or random map, starting in the Dark Age. And we have 3 teams, Nilly. And the Baguettes have had a rough ride against the 4 other big teams. This is a group stage situation. Unlikely for them that they're, I think impossible for them actually, that they can compete to actually win at this point. But they want to turn it around here and get some victories. And Aftermath won a 5-0 today to have a chance at possibly winning with a good result tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Technically, Baguettes can still get 8 wins, which could, I think, give them a tight second place. But
okay.
Yeah, I think more likely if they get 8 in a row, like third place could be something. But I think the most likely result is try to get a win tomorrow and then have a great performance against WWP to snag 4th place away from them.
Gotcha. And is there a prize pool for all 5 placings?
Yes.
Regardless?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought
well,
so.
they played 4, like they played 20 games, right? So
of course, yeah.
Giving them something.
I assumed there would be something there. All right, so we have Bengalis, Dravidians, and Italians for the Baguettes. Bengalis and Dravidians being the 2 newer civilizations being used. Dravidians have, I think they get +5 pop space for every dock, and I think that's a team bonus, actually.
Mm-hmm.
They also get +200 wood when arriving to the next age. So, and I think they also have faster fishing ships, so lots of bonuses there to use them here. Italians, most people already know about. Cheaper fishing ships, cheaper dock techs. Bengalis have the healing of their ships. But we've got Vikings over there for Hera, who's playing for Aftermath. Good to see Vikings in there, too. Can't forget about those galleys and those cheap docks.
Mm-hmm. Interesting opening here by Magugu. Actually playing dock first before building the lumber camp, and therefore 2 very early fishing ships.
Do you like that?
I think like very early feudal age gives you the +200 wood earlier as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess we'll see what the uptimes look like. And that will tell me if I'm a big fan of this build.
That's result oriented.
I've tried this before, and I don't like how you cannot produce the 3rd, the 4th fishing ship, but I guess like the logic is just rushing up to the next stage quickly. And wow, he's trying to drop off food already.
Yeah,
look
at that. Dock first by all 3 players here from Baguettes, And really early uptimes. And look at that. Anotov, the only one going for Loom. So that looks like a landing by him.
Really? So they all did this? And I just didn't pick up on it at Sato's base? Did Sato do it as well?
Apparently.
It does kind of look like
at
it.
how
Wow.
he chopped through the stragglers already.
Yeah. I mean, listen, this is the team, and he's going for a barracks. Whoa.
And
Look at MBL already walling. MBL.
But he has the Dream
MBL.
Island. He has the Dream Island to defend.
Yeah. It's like they expected. But yeah, back to finish my point here, it's the Baguettes. They kind of started the trend on these open maps to go for the fast up archers, and it's done well against so many teams, and it has become more the meta. And now we've got a water map, and again, the Baguettes being creative with their strategies. So whether it works or doesn't work here, they are behind an eco now because of the lack of fishing ships. I'm still excited to see it.
Hera actually landing. Quite surprising to me. Yeah, Vikings player landing. And
He's going to be especially surprised when Margu spots him, or does Margu... I thought Margu spotted that.
Oh, and archer range here by Sito, that will do very little. MBL, simply the perfect island to defend. And look at that, he even sees the landing and he lands himself. Oh, the balls.
Yeah, I think that's why he's landing, though. I think he wouldn't wall expecting the landing and not go water, right? Normally, you're going to start water. And, oh, God, he sees it now, but also Sito sees him and is using his transport to block the way. And MBL just kind of had a double take. He's like, do I defend myself or do I go forward here? What do I do?
Seems like players are really on top of this in the sense like defending against landings, except Leary, who so far built one house that actually is aiding a wall.
He's going to go fire ships. I would have preferred to see galley opening, seeing as he's far away from everyone.
Yeah, maybe with all the landings, he feels like single fire ships are better. Maybe go for up to 4 and then go switch into galleys.
Well, yeah, that's true, because this pressure could always swing right over to his island if he's not careful. Like MBL's side, this stuff's going to go somewhere, and he's going to want to be ready for that. As we have MBL's villagers heading over to Anno's base. And Anno spotted that, so he knows, and he's going to wall up now himself. The only thing I'm not sure on is, did Margu notice that Hera's on his island? Because he sees the scout moving around, and he's now added a spearman.
Yeah.
And I think the question's been answered here. He sees it.
Yeah. Pretty nice scouting by him, pretty nice awareness. Feeling like, okay, something had to be there. Ooh, a transporter could die for Hera here, feels very likely. Spearman is getting pushed away, and Magugo, defensive tower on gold, not the prettiest place.
There's so many useless landings right now, Nilly.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they've obviously done something, but pretty soon it looks like all the landings are going to be walled out, except for Hera's. Hera's is going to do some damage, but a tower's already going up.
And the only player not landing or fighting with the landing is Leary. And those are most of the times the players completely dominating the game.
Yep. Especially because he has more fish, right? There's only 2 fishing ships for Anno. So this build order was to dominate the water. It hasn't happened yet. And I was wrong. MBL actually made it in, has killed a villager. And that's definitely going to be another villager kill. This is actually going wrong right now. Ooh. The Baguettes. They're behind by 10 eco because of the lack of fish and taking damage. Yeah,
and Livery also adding fish, right? He's already at 7 fishing ships. Pretty nice for him. On the other side, we see 2-3-2. So what you said early on, that, yeah, early uptimes, but the lack of extra fishing ships really seem to be true.
Sito makes a range on Leary's island, and then Margu shows up. It's so funny to me how we've got archers from one player, villagers from the other, trying desperately to hit Leary. Leary's fine here. Leary's fine. He's got the fish boom. He's actually close to being able to clicking up to the next stage, but he doesn't... I say fine. He doesn't actually have an answer to this many archers. That's a lot of stuff right now.
Neat houses. I think a tower could have been something. Not the highest HP on those houses as well. Now goes for some stone walls. But one of those houses now gets some HP on them.
I think this could be a problem for Leary, and I think he does need to tower, and he's actually created more work for himself now. Because he had the time to tower before, and now he's got a wall behind somewhere else. Like, this is going to add up pretty quickly here for him. He still hasn't clicked up. But then again, look at MBL all over Anno.
Oh, that's so brutal. Next tower here as well. Walls in the villagers. 4 scouts so annoying. And Anno, he already built the defensive tower. He's not on stone, so can't put a second one down. And scouts simply swarming him. This is so ugly.
He's got no fish. Or sorry, he's got one fish.
But Leary in trouble.
Leary in trouble indeed. And now Leary's off of gold. Has Leary clicked up yet? He does click up. He's also defending his fish. Anno desperate for damage on the fish. We'll see if he can get snipes there. I wonder if Leary will leave his walls and take the gold. He actually could take 2 golds. He's got options.
The one at the front even uncontested right now, right?
Look at MBL's villagers inside of Anno's base
Archers
right
by Magugu trying to dive, but Leary ready with the quick walls. Scaring those archers away. Not a single archer died.
2 MBL villagers surrounded by 10 at the moment. Scouts hoping to get in and to get some revenge as one of those villagers goes down. MBL is being extremely annoying. Keep in mind, he's untouched at this point. Leary's still alive. And I think the normal move here is to add a stable to go for knights if you have the fish boom.
For whom?
Because he's got the food. For Leary, sorry.
Bengali. I
don't think they get knights.
Yeah, I think they're an elephant civ, right?
So maybe he'll make an elephant.
Let's quickly check that again. Obviously, we're trying
He
to
also
learn.
might not have fish, really, because he's kind of taking some losses. It's not being microed all that well by Anno, which is understandable, I guess.
Yeah, only light calf and elephants for Bengali.
So maybe one elephant to clear it. Hera's been all over Margu. He also has been pretty unthreatened. That range for Margu hasn't contributed much. Hera on the way to Castle Age. This just feels so much better for Aftermath.
I think so as well. Yeah.
The fast uptime that Deceptive Baguettes go for on land maps makes sense. I don't like their build order here at all for water map. There's simply so much payoff from a normal build order with the fish. And if you're going to go fast up, don't go fast up with the transport. Go fast up and win water. Like that's what I was expecting here.
I think, yeah, winning water could have been an option. It's also really good islands for Hera and MBL to defend.
Yeah,
I think those were the main stories, right? Just think about how walled in, 2 woodlines and gold. Very cheap for Hera and MBL. I think that really helped.
Yeah, I can agree with that. As the elephant is out here for Leary. And 2 elephants should clear up all of this. He's now on 2 town centers. Should definitely get or continue, I guess, on water. He doesn't have that much
Leary's base? What's happening here? Villagers and archers running through the town center.
Yeah, they're going to get trapped. They're going to see the gates and be like, oh, we're home. We build those all the time. Nope.
Not the green
Not
gates.
here.
And they're looking at the...
for Leary.
Yeah, the only gates they're looking at are the pearly gates.
I knew you were going somewhere with that.
Nice.
The only thing that came to my mind was Bill Gates. But that didn't have any relevance. Leary should transport the elephants over to all of his allies' bases now. It's like, you should be like, hey, send me 100 food, and I'll clear the archers in your base. Just start to play diplomacy at this point.
3 players in Castle, but it's 3 player in Feudal Age. Sito soon reaches Castle Age, and Anotov now slinging Sito as long as he still can.
Yeah, and I mean, Hera's all over Margu. So Margu's like, hey, can I get some of that?
Nope.
I would love to have some of those resources, please.
Nope.
That's probably what he's saying. Did you happen to see the game that MBL and I
Is Hera
played?
jumping? Hera's jumping under Magugu's town center. Oh, no, he's not. He is.
Oh, no, he is.
There's no villagers there.
Well,
what is that palisade wall?
Trying to buy time and space, I guess? It feels like they realize this game is over, so they're just trying to be fancy in what ways they can. Good job from Hera. Obviously, completely untouched at home, has been ahead for some time. So you would expect him to be able to finish it off here. He's going to prepare his mango and continue to dance around. And we have a castle drop from Sito. Okay, so this is why they're still trying. Sito denied a TC from MBL. And MBL couldn't make a siege workshop until he built a blacksmith. So he's got to scramble up some defense for what's to come here.
Citeaux is close to Imp.
No way, Citeau's fast Imp.
He actually built a Mangonel, and I think maybe skipping the Mangonel and going up could have been an option.
That would be interesting. Okay, you've got Margu killing villagers at Hera's base. Hera's lost a few there. So that's something. I don't know if it's going to save him from the siege push, though. He's going to make it to Castle Age and then I think lose his TC.
Yeah, feels pretty likely at the moment. Also extra town center for Citeaux. And Anatov now buying himself some wood. Okay. He's now on the way to Castle Age.
So, in the 2v2 Regicide game that MBL and I played against Nikov and Capwatch, we had killed Capwatch as king.
Mm-hmm.
And MBL was really worried he was going to lose his to Nikov because Nikov had like 60 Custier. So he sent me the king.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, MBL, how much is this king worth to you right now?
Ooh.
I was like, $20. Or I send your king over to Nikov's base. He didn't think that was funny. I don't know why he didn't laugh. So I needed somebody to laugh at my joke.
Poor MBL. That's the first and only time you will ever be in such a power position in your life.
I know, right? I was like, hey, MBL, I'm really good at Diplo games. Let's go.
Oh, big Mangonel shot by Magugu. Oh.
Killed 2 or is that 3 over there? I looked away.
I was so close. Oh, yo, yo.
Well, it's 31 population there versus 100. So he's going to need a couple more big shots. I'm laughing at every time I look at Leary's base, Citeaux still has that 5 crossbow group. And the elephants are too slow to catch it. It looks like it's going to die. They're going to get cleared up now. Okay. Mango Micro in defense for MBL. We saw him offensively in the previous game. Let's see what he can do defensively. Oh my god. Oh my god. That was a 6 shot. Was for another one. That's another one, dude!
He's just so good.
This is insane, man. And he's like, he's got a castle on his face. He's 3 TC booming. He had to garrison the 1 TC against crossbows and skirmishers. Man, those are some disgusting shots. What's Leary's plan here, by the way? Besides 4 TC booming on
Probably
his own island.
Water play after that.
Yeah.
Might be the play. I think that's also what Anatov is going for.
Okay. I mean, Anatov is so far behind here. He's got to try something, so fast Imperial Age into fast Fire Ship isn't necessarily a bad play. You got to do something to take control. If you take control of the seas, the only player who's then going to have problems is Margu, as Hera's already on his island. But Citeaux is safe. He's trying to boom. And okay, he's no longer safe. Leary's going to show up. And I guess Leary's going to go fast Imp, or not fast Imp, but he's going to go up to Imp and go Arbalest out of those ranges.
Seems like it. MBL's still doing a good job with his Mangonel defense here. And, well, we didn't see the fast Imp for Citeaux. I think he was sitting at like 700 food, 400 gold. And with the Italians, that's just like idling half a minute and you're up.
Yeah, I would have liked to see 2 things. I would have liked to see Imp. But then I think if you're going fast Imp, and maybe because he didn't do this, take that gold from MBL. Like, forward villagers to take wood. No, just take the gold, use the market. Staying in Castle Age here does nothing for you. So I at least agree with Anatov going fast Imp here, but he needs to get War Galley. He doesn't even have War Galley yet.
He's one TCing it. I'm not really sure why they're doing this. Like, is that for fast fire ships? Yeah.
Look at Hera right now. He's got 1 transport ship, which can fit 5 units. It's in the back of Margu's base. And Margu's like, where is he? I don't see him. And he's looking. He's like, oh, is he over here? And oh! Okay, Hera's a little fortunate there. He's going to transport this, though. Which I think is a good play. He's done enough damage to Margu.
And Anatov with only 1 town center, he can't save his villagers.
Yeah. He doesn't have a defensive siege workshop. He doesn't have a stable. He doesn't have anything here. But yeah, that will kill him. Good job from Hera to recognize this. Forward University for Sato? Seems interesting.
Or maybe at the villages around there. But yeah, I don't really know, like, what is he trying to get? Like, ballistics? Will it really matter? I don't
know.
That.
Maybe guard tower because of the towers he's making in his base right now because of Leary.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Murder holds maybe even.
Yeah, you could use a lot of those university techs now that we think about it. But 400 pop versus 200. The only win condition would be if Anno somehow controls all the sea. I don't think he's going to have the economy for that. We haven't even seen the fast fire upgrade yet.
No.
This seems pretty over at the moment. Oh, excuse me. He has fast fire.
Okay, so we'll find some kills on water, most likely.
Yeah, and I mean, could also take out some of the ranges with his fast fires. But again, I'm just waiting for Leary to go imp, or Leary's in imp, and I'm waiting for Leary to add water.
I think he will just focus on Sito. Look at that. First town center is going down, kills the villagers now, and we are close to double the population soon.
Yep, Hera sees the defensive castle from Anno.
Landing with a mangonel surprise there! Ooh, Sito with a nice move.
It's such a ridiculous thing, and then they call the GG. The classic. We know we're dead, we just want the big shot.
Wow,
Yeah,
it's crazy how no one really committed to any units. The highest units were 35 crossbows in a 33-minute game.
Yeah. I just, I said it before. If you're going to go fast up and sacrifice your eco like that, which means delay fishing ship numbers, you got to go kill fish, right? Like, I think AM were fortunate a little bit with the maps, but it was so easy for Aftermath this game because they had more fishing ships. They had a 10 or maybe it was 15 eco lead when all teams were in Feudal, and there was very little focus, except for Anno, on focusing down fish. So I only like the idea to play with this type of unique build order if you are lower on fishing ships, just so you can be faster to kill all of theirs. But unless you're killing like 5 villagers per enemy team, per enemy player, it's simply not worth it to go for this type of a landing.
Yeah, well, you force some reaction, you make the game a bit more wild, but it felt like maybe one landing could have been enough, double landing.
Yeah.
Well, also, I think if it's like a super bad map, you will find some damage even against MBL and Terra. With those maps, not. And look at like how much damage Leary took, right? He had a worse map to defend. If they landed Leary first, game could have been very different.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's also the risk you take a little with landings. Because you don't know what their map looks like, so you're just going into it hoping that you find damage.
No.
But it was funny. I've never seen that many landings happen with no damage before. And it was like, until MBL killed villagers, there were 4 people, I think, that had landed, not done damage, so...
Yeah. Pretty sick.
Well, 3-0 for Aftermath is exactly what they wanted to have at this stage of this play all 5.
Shaping up to be a crazy day tomorrow. Ideally, Baguettes want at least 1 win today. And obviously, ideally, AM wants the clean sweep, wants the clean 5 wins. Simply to put themselves up into a better position going into tomorrow's game. And then they have everything in their own control to still get the W for the whole tournament.
Okay, so who cannot play this 4v4?
Everyone can.
Everyone can.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got that confused. And then the final 2v2 has to be played by the players who didn't play in the first 2v2?
Correct. So likely to be Anotov plus Celeste or Clement against Leary and Terra.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that will be tough. I think if you want 1 win of the next 2, if you're the Baguettes, you got to take it here in the 4v4 for sure.
I think so as well. Yeah.
Right. It's an interesting matchup here. Like, I think in the 3v3 tournament, Return of the Clans, Aftermath won 4-3 versus the Baguettes. It was really close. I think what I learned throughout that is that you have to, if you're going to beat Aftermath, you almost have to out-strategize them. The faster uptime thing is a bit trickier against Aftermath, whereas I think that GamerLegion, no offense, Nilly, they were a bit more vulnerable to that type of thing. More of a sit-back macro approach and not as reliant on their micro, so... What's game 4 again? Game 4 is, Frontline again. Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting one. So what do we want to see? Who do we want to see at the front? I think Sito as the second player.
Yes.
MBL at the front. And probably Leary second. And then we have Nikov, Hera. We don't really care who's where, right?
Yeah, I agree. You just don't even... I think what Finland did and having Kumans for the back player was really smart. I mean, Max made it look really good, but feels like you're never going to get damage in on that player. And yeah, I mean, we'll see what civs they want to place where. I would say for the Baguettes, you want to have Margu on the front. And they used to pick Berbers a lot to go for Vilwar. They might be tempted to do it again here. I guess you're pretty close, so you don't necessarily need the speed. Yeah, I go Margu, Sito, and then probably Salet. No. Then I think I go Anatov and then Salet. Give Anatov a scout civ.
Yeah, I could see that. Or maybe Anatov Fast Castle in the back.
Maybe. But I would have it be something like Vilwar / like messy man-at-arms archers on the front. You have archers in the second position. You have scouts in the third position. And then fourth position is either Fast Castle, into Knights, or Kuman Boom.
Could we see Persians as the front player?
Definitely. I think so. And we could even see like double Persians. So
Ooh.
I don't think MBL would want a town center drop, though. I think he would have confidence in defending it. Yeah, so someone on my end asking, didn't Suomi already win the tournament? No. They're obviously in good position, but Suomi will no longer play. So they played the last 4 days. Each team has an off day. So the current standings are Aftermath would be looking at 8 points, I believe. And they could win 2 more here, which would take them to 10 before they play another play all 5 tomorrow. And Suomi ends on 13.
Maps 1 is more important than Series 1. That's the main...
Correct. Series 1 doesn't really matter.
Yeah. That's why it's a bit confusing for some people. But we are playing the format with play all 5 games. So games count more than Series 1.
Would it be... Is there a tiebreaker? So if 2 teams end up at 13 points?
No, I will split the money.
Oh, really? So there's no whoever won the most series?
No.
The tiebreak? Okay. All right.
And yeah, no playoffs either. So tournament will end tomorrow.
Yep, you got 2,000 going to first place, 1,200 going to second place, third place 800, fourth place 600, and then fifth place would be 400. So lots of cash on the line. And who is this event sponsored by, Nilly?
Ooh, I think we never declared that, right?
I was gonna get you into trouble.
Oh, Microsoft.
All right. Wait, is it not GamerLegion?
It's hosted by GamerLegion.
Well, then, what are you seen as? Are you not the host?
The admin.
Oh, okay. Hosted by Microsoft. Wait, crap. Sponsored by Microsoft. Hosted by GamerLegion, and adminned and casted by Nilly.
Correct.
There you go. People can clip that, and you could just like play that anytime you need to promote it a little bit.
Oh.
I'm doing God's work here.
Okay, so we already see Hera picking orange, so he will play last position, and Nikov yellow, so he will play second position.
How are you checking that, by the way?
If you look at the game.
The game ID?
No, game ID or lobby browser, right? In the lobby browser, you search for one of the players. And then you can see Magugo front.
Oh,
yeah. Heart! Heart over Leary.
Hey,
Ooh.
So Nili.
Yeah?
Seeing as you know things, you know people, you've got some connections.
I would think so.
Did you know it is possible, you know the links you use to spectate?
Yeah.
Did you know it's possible to see what people are picking for civilizations when it's hidden civ? If you put that in before the game launches?
Ooh, no, I didn't.
Yep, been a problem for like 6 months. And I don't know if it was a thing before then, but if I had the game ID, which I don't, and I just replace the 0 with a 1 in that link, and I press enter, it shows the loading screen. It says 0 seconds, and it shows all the civs. Which is obviously quite bad.
But it didn't need to launch for that?
They don't need to launch. No, if they're in the lobby, it works.
Ooh.
Also, while we're talking about lobby bugs that are affecting tournaments, the bug where if you go over someone's color to know what their civilization is back. And they don't even need to be readied up or something. You can just
okay.
Wipe right past it. And I encountered those two things by accident, which is twice as bad. Because if I was seeking them out, then obviously, okay, there's ways you can abuse things and like get past things and cheat, whatever, if you really want to try hard. But I discovered those things playing in tournaments the last few months by mistake. So then I was like, well, I know Nikov Civ now. Just going to stick with what I had. But if I didn't want to, I could change, you know?
Yeah.
So hopefully that gets dealt with.
Yeah. Well, did you report it?
I mentioned it somewhere. You know, there's channels.
Probably on your Discord. Like,
I don't know where I put things anymore. But yeah, maybe something that I will try and remember to post again.
Why does Leary not
launched though?
They have launched, 70 seconds to go. Why Leary does not stream these days anymore? I think he's in the military, right? I'm not even sure if he's sleeping at home.
Yeah,
if he just brought his PC.
Well, I've heard stories of MBL when he had his mandatory military service for Norway. Apparently, he would just play Black Forest all the time, and then if they tried to contact him via radio, and he didn't respond, he would always say the radio was out of battery. Those are from MBL's. Those are MBL's words. He told us that. He said it on his stream like 3 years ago.
Oh God!
It's the same. People are going to be like, "Well, Leary doesn't have that problem. He's not playing Age as much." No, he's probably playing Dota.
Not sure if he's playing Dota that much.
Yeah, you think he's settled down with that? I don't know.
I like he at one point announced that he will focus on AV4, right?
Yeah, that I don't know if that's happening.
Well,
you would know.
Golden League wasn't that successful for him.
Yeah. There's been a lot of announcements and posts of such and such is going to do such and such.
Yeah.
Over the last 3 months, and a lot of people are turning back to Age 2 right now, so it makes me happy.
Nice.
Okay, this is about to be crazy. And here we are, another frontline game. No surprise, Aftermath's gone for MBL on the front with the Gurjaras, and he's up against Margu. So we predicted that, Nili. And I did mention Berbers for Margu. Expect Margu to be annoying with Berber villagers. Expect MBL to be annoying with what he can, as there's 3 teammates behind them. And MBL's boars spawn on the front?
Uh-oh.
What?
But the Camel Scout could help out here. Let's take a look. Could be a 2v2 split. Scout at the front, and MBL already sending his villager.
Okay. Good work from MBL to recognize that. Good work from Margu to do the same initially. And Margu will notice this, but I don't think he should try and block here. Not against MBL. He's very good with de-aggroing the boars. He is the Master Boar Lamer, which is not what his name stands for, but sounds good. And it's going to be fun. What do you expect here, Nili?
Well, we're expecting a lot of wild aggression from the front players. Probably archers from the second row. Then third row typically goes scouts. And Hindustanis in feels really reasonable. Claymore, Cumin, second town center, and Terra Franks, probably fast castle knights. For everyone who is a bit confused by this format, every single game counts in this one, and Baguettes and AM are still trying to get more map wins for themselves. Map wins are more important than series wins.
MBL did not know his second boar was over there. Margu found it. This is not a map that we had necessarily seen a ton of. I can tell you already that the forward boars is going to make life difficult for MBL. That's going to be... actually, that's 2 boars. Each... No. I'm confused now. I think MBL will only have 1.
Yeah, I think so as well. 2 taken away from Magugu in the center. MBL took 1, and Magugu with the better spawn had 1 towards the back. And now sends 5 villagers forward. Probably tries to ram down that mill. MBL is pushing with villagers against this one. And obviously he has the shorter way to his own town center.
Yep, Berber villagers faster, but the Gurjara mills can garrison in the livestock, and that gives MBL food income. So this is something that MBL doesn't want to give up, especially after losing the boar. What's down? Sorry?
House down? House, yeah. I think he could just kill the house of MBL.
All right, minus 25 wood for MBL. This is a player who hasn't placed a lumber camp yet, if I'm not mistaken. So this is a situation where I would be dead. I would be 100% dead. I would not be able to recover against Margu. You're down a boar, and you're probably not going to have good eco. So I'm curious to see how MBL fares. He's probably letting Nikov know, hey, I'm going to need some strong archer support here in the Feudal Age, because this is not looking good right now.
Oh, this is wild. Technically, no one should really lose a villager here. Now the house there, simply because MBL is shorter to the town center and Magugu can walk a bit faster. Now scouts joining the party as well. And feels like MBL will secure his mill.
Yeah, secured it. Also, MBL is known for getting housed. He's not going to get housed anytime soon, because he's had to make more houses to just secure that. It's funny how he lamed his own mill, though. Like, he can't take the berries now.
Well, he can delete the palisades quite easily afterwards.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, house is still blocking for now. And, ooh, Magugu goes to next player.
Yeah, and I like this, because if you think back to how Rubenstock played for Suomi, it was not just about affecting the player in front of him, it was the other player as well, and it made things better for his teammates. But it doesn't seem like they really had the best of scouting on this. And now they see MBL going to a woodline. They might realize MBL doesn't have a lumber camp yet and just continue to attack him.
Oh, let's take a look. Villager squeezes through their scout block, and MBL -1.
Yeah. And MBL, even though he's got good HP on these vills, can't really choose to chase and chase comfortably. But in a way, it is good right now for MBL's team that Nikov didn't take any damage. And he's actually sharing the woodline with Hart, which is interesting. And they're starting to wall that stuff up. So maybe this pressure will go to Hart.
Maybe walling in the full woodline there. He has enough villagers. But honestly, like, pretty soon scouts should be out. While Hart, that's a wild barracks. You should know that vills are around.
Or not. I guarantee you Hart's like, go, what? Nikov, why didn't you tell me? But Nikov didn't know. Good job there. But I would be feeling a little pressured to do more if I were Margu, because this has been a lot of running around, and you've only killed 1 villager from MBL. He's sending more villagers. He's crazy, man. He's crazy.
Really?
And he's going to attack MBL's houses now.
I'm not sure if I like that one too much. Second villager tries to repair this one now as well, and that should be better for MBL till the first archer arrives.
I think the house will go down, though. But MBL's pulled the vills, and yep, house is not going to go down. So my feeling right now is that Margu has gone a little too insane with this. I liked it initially, and now I'm seeing 15 villagers run around, and I'm not necessarily sure if it's worth it. He's attacking MBL. He lost a villager. He's going to kill another one. And MBL's economy still isn't good. MBL is behind in villagers. But that would change, obviously, as Margu delays the archery range of Nikov.
What's happening? Oh, but 1 villager still in there for Nikov. Walled in now. And yeah, Nikov should not let this one go down. But
think about it, though. That range still isn't up.
Oh!
And then it's double range for Sato.
And villager could die.
Yeah. Okay, this is amazing right now for the Baguettes. Nikov is delayed, and MBL is delayed, and Sato's going to be coming forward with faster firing archers. This is huge.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. And MBL even idle around his town center still. Like the mill is working wonders for him, right?
Yep.
If both players are fighting with the villagers, that's totally fine for MBL. But as you mentioned, like the production here for archers should be so much better.
Like how Hart showed up with scouts here. I would love to have seen those archers a little faster here for Sato. He's had the ranges. I just don't know where they are. It looks like they're on the way now. And Margu's like, I do not fear these scouts. I do not fear these villagers. I will sacrifice myself for my team.
What is MBL doing? Walling in there. There are archers around, my friend.
Yeah, MBL doesn't know about that yet. He's about to find out. And the scouts are really weak for Hart. So the scouts are going to go down. And MBL is going to go down. And this could lead to Nikov going down as well. This is amazing for the Baguettes. Aftermath desperately wants to get 5 wins here. And that's quick walls from Margugu. What an amazing play. And it didn't block off the villagers entirely, but it gave them a better chance of killing more. This is crazy.
Baguettes 12 population ahead. Villager-wise +6 and military advantage here. Pretty crazy stuff behind the scenes. Obviously what we expected. Scouts, extra town center by the human player, and Terra plays the fast castle.
I think Hera might have to save his team here because he will have Castle Age military before any other player. And that is going to be key. Now, the economy for, who is it, Clement behind this should be much better. But I think Knights, especially if Hera can get 2 stable Knights, is needed here.
Yeah,
just to get them back on even footing.
Hera should not add extra town centers early on. This is full double knight, full production here. It's really important. And also Clement, I don't think he should go like to up to 50 villagers and then go up. I think he should even like idle a bit and try to make something like 1930 happen as his uptime.
I agree. No, I agree with you there. Yeah, this is some crazy pressure. I'd say the issue right now for Sato is that he doesn't have a lot of support right now from Anno. Like, I'm seeing scouts from Anno, but the coordination isn't really there. And look, even Hera's added some scouts. Like, even Hera's here. But that said, Sato with some great micro to take out the archers there. And look at Margu still fighting with villagers.
Actually really adding something, right?
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Well, he's gonna hope he doesn't lose these, and they're gonna say, "Well, sorry guys, I can't really help you." But I think that could have been better. I think that the coordination from Anno and Sato would have been better. They could have had archer scouts together the entire time there.
Oh.
Still, though, the damage on Nikov is amazing. Nikov's off of gold, so he can't afford to make a lot of archers. Not to mention, he's only on 1 range. Now we've got to see Hera shine.
Nikov had only 26 villagers, 41 already for Clement here, and now the archers are in the woodline, and that's the double woodline here for Nikov and Hart.
Yeah, and the knights aren't here yet for Hera. Think about it, though. Sato's taken no damage. Clement has taken no damage. The only player that's taken economic damage has been the player who decided to send his economy forward, Margugu.
Yeah.
And that would be expected, right?
Yeah, there was not a single military unit past Magugu's base.
Yeah.
From AM.
Yeah, it's why this strategy works well, and it's why you open up the game and play it like this. And Hera's adding TCs now. Oh, I think that's really bad. I think adding TCs will give him a Vil lead, which is maybe even with what Clement has later. But this just means that MBL continues to die, and Nikov continues to die. Hera's got to invest more into military here, not town centers.
I don't like that one either. More archers coming out, and MBL. Is he floating 950 stone already? Like, what's his plan?
Like
He's Dark Age!
Well, he did click up to Feudal Age, to be fair.
But still.
So we have a pause now. But this is actually a good pause because now we get to look at the economy of the players around the board here. Sato is pretty all in here, Nilly. He only has 150 food. I expect to see some players buying food soon, but he doesn't have an economic setup that tells me that he's going to be up anytime soon. I don't even know where his villagers are going. He's got like all these villagers next to his woodline just running away randomly, maybe for a new one. We do have Anatov on the way up, though. Anatov's probably going to be supporting with camels. And then you have Clement, who's also on the way up, adding to stable number 2.
Archers in MBL's base. Okay, only finds one villager kill though. MBL instant reaction.
Look at Hera. He's buying food. Hera's like, obviously his score is really high right now, but to draw a parallel with, you know, maybe some situations people who are listening to or watching our streams have faced, it's like the guy who doesn't support his flanks with army and then says, my team noob later because he's high score. Like, that said, I should maybe shut up because if these 3 knights kill like 10 units, it's a completely different story. But look at the army count. Baguettes should have a much higher army count around the 22nd minute mark.
Yeah, certainly. And 1930 is what I wanted to see from Clément, and he even does better than that. Looks like 1920 here. Nice quick one. Oh, knights are in the blues woodline though. Oh, that's ugly.
Yeah, this is really bad. Like, MBL's still in this game. And this is exactly what Hera would have wanted. He's put himself into a position where his economy is going to soar, but he probably wasn't even expecting to kill this much. He's got to be very happy with this. Margugo is down to 15 villagers, but it's worth reminding everyone that we saw Suomi in a similar position earlier today, and I think Rubenstock was down to 7, and they still won the game.
7 is crazy, yeah. Clément now TC number 3 as well is going for the market, wants to see what's up, and then should be just spamming those knights out. 57 villagers compared to Hera's 48. Okay-ish by Hera.
Yeah, honestly, like, it all depends when the second stable comes up for me. I think what I wasn't expecting with all my predictions was that Sato would be up at like 23 minutes. I was feeling it'd be more along the lines of like 21, and we'd be looking at the upgrades coming in right now. But still, Hera getting pushed back. MBL's gonna feel this, and Nikov's gonna feel this.
I think it makes some sense, right? He played double archer range super aggressively, now at archer range number 3, and so he was a bit delayed there. But now with the army here of Anotov to protect him, I think this will do some damage.
And it could do damage to so many players, right? A player we haven't really talked a lot about over the last couple minutes is actually Hart. Hart's had 2 camels. He's about to have 4. Just now getting the second TC. Haven't seen a lot from him, and he was delayed as well. But again, the coordination for Clément, and Anno needs to be there, and it looks like it will be as they're going to work together here and head right towards Hart. And
what did you say? Big army advantage around 23 minutes? Look at that. Now close to double the military count.
Yeah, it's like they had such a strong window there where Hera could have gone 2 stables and maybe done some actual damage to Sato. But, I mean, he is at 63 vills. It's really tough to say. And also, maybe he didn't know how much damage his teammates took, right? We can see that. The communication's probably there, but it might not be as specific as our what we can see with Capture Age.
Archers now will be pretty deadly as well. And that's the major woodline that Hart and Nikov were taking. Now pretty much taken away. They're breaking through, but there are barely any villagers left.
Yeah. And so you've got camels of your Hart, and that feels good against knights, but it doesn't feel good when there's crossbows there. And MBL update, he's dropping a castle right now, and Margugo, true to his identity here, is fighting with the Vills. They're going to deny this castle.
Oh no. Oh no. And that was MBL's plan for the last 10 minutes, right? He had nothing but stone.
Yeah, I got to check his resources, actually. I accidentally toggled over. He actually has enough for another castle, so there are positives.
But crossbows are still around. Town center is still around.
Yeah.
But Sato is running away.
And the Baguettes are literally in the heart of Aftermath's eco. That's right. They're in the heart of Aftermath's eco right here. And Hart can't deal with it. He hasn't lost too much yet. But it feels like this is going to swing over to Hera next, who's now at 8 military. This is when you're seeing more stables from him. But we brought it up earlier when we talked about the approach of booming. It's like your army count's going to suffer. All that eco could end up dying. Let's see if Hera and Hart can work together here on this.
Well, it's all 3 players, and it feels like a 3v3 fight. Maybe let Sato die and run with your cavalry. No, not going to happen. They will take the fight.
Yeah, Clément was a little late to taking an engagement there. And a lot of this army right now for Sato and Clément is also at MBL's base. So MBL has done something in that. And they actually clear it. Aftermath actually clear the fight. And I think I should have never doubted.
MBL lost more vills, by the way. MBL lost even more vills. Lost 22 villagers this game now. And this castle at 97% will go up. MBL at 27 villagers right now. 28 for Magugu.
The score's flipping back and forth right now. And all of a sudden, Hart, Hera, Nikov have all this army.
And villagers are even as well.
The coordination's really good. Sito just lost a group of army. He had no support there. Wow, man. Maybe it was just so much confidence that they can just get away with it, you know? And they, as we see walls here for Margu, and that they could hold on. MBL still has 29 villagers in Castle Age versus the 29 villagers from Margu who's in Feudal. I think AM could do this from here.
I can't rule it out.
If it's 270 versus 290 total pop, but the team that has 290 population has one player in Feudal, I believe in MBL's ability to boom back into the game. That's probably all he's going to do right now.
And Hera's...
the other three are holding.
Hera's 2 minutes away from him.
And also getting his very first wood upgrade.
Whoopsie. That's weird.
That's crazy. But, you know, Hera, he does this thing, man, where he'll make just enough. All the best players will do it. And he made just enough knights. It was 3. He now made, what, maybe 12 knights in the late Castle Age with a boom. And now he's going up to Imp. So, like,
that's so sick.
It's towing the line, a level that just didn't feel correct. I expected the army from Clement and Anno to be enough. And oh, are they reacting now? Where are they going with the knights? Why do we see knights from Clement going this way? Oh, MBL's got chakram throwers.
Yeah, built 4 of them. And yeah, I can't believe it. Those League of Legends players coming over and winning our tournaments.
Wild, man. The chakram throwers is just like, this feels like the most MBL thing ever. He doesn't want to just fully sit back. He wants to be annoying where he can. And Margu going for these tiny little walls. We could see Imperial Age eventually for Clement, but if this is a race to Paladin, Hera's going to win that race because he's just clicked Cavalier.
Yeah. Roughly 2.5 minutes ahead there. Pretty nice for him. Economies are looking pretty strong for both players as well. So not the limiting factor. And I think you kind of want to force an engagement here just to finish those walls and buy yourself a bit more time.
If they've had the army and the upgrades, or if they had it all in one single spot, they would have punished this 10 knight number, or what was 10 knights for Hera. They have had the stronger army value, but the problem was they didn't have it all together, and now they do have it all together, but now they're going to be out-teched. Hera is bringing forward what is now 20 Cavalier, but man, that's still so much army for the Baguettes.
Oh, 91 against 86, actually pretty close. Army value, pretty close as well, 9.3k, 9.9. Villagers are running in, trying to re-wall behind this one. Now maybe the big engagement, but Hera will have his upgrades.
Yeah, and you need to have the camels on the front here if you're Anno. You want camel v camel or camel v cav. And yeah, it looks like Hera and his team backing away. And the Baguettes are not finished yet, and this is shaping up to be a crazy one. I mean, it has been a crazy one. So, Paladin on the way for Hera. So he says, back up, let's wait for Paladin, and that could swing it big time here.
Baguettes 30 population ahead right now. Make it even close to 40. Paladin is clicked. We only see now the Cavalier click here by Clement. And as we said, roughly 2.5 minutes behind. I think Hera's just waiting for this timing, and those walls won't go up.
Mm-hmm. Is there going to be enough Paladins from Hera? Is the greed, is the boom, is the letting Nikov and MBL die even more, is that going to work out? I mean, they were hurt so much that Nikov's never going to go imp here. He can't compete with Sito. MBL, it's going to take him a while to get back into the game. So maybe that was the logic. They already were dead. But they're not dead as if they're not fighting here. MBL is trying to boom. He had the chakram throwers. You then have Nikov still contributing crossbow numbers. We will have Cavalier for Clement here. So he will have that.
Nikov with the first wood upgrade as well.
Oh, God. The irony is that I'm trying to look. MBL has both of his wood upgrades, but this is the dude who didn't have a lumber camp for like 20 minutes. Sato is on the way to Imp now as well. So AM need to force a fight and hope that Paladin's enough. And I guess the other team now needs to hold. This is crazy.
Another villager by Magugu. I think Magugu lost like 7 villagers trying to wall this area already.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea too, though. I think he should continue to try, and it's just been so good from AM to stay here. And despite Paladin being in, Capture Age is telling me there was 3,000 more HP for the Baguettes. So should they take this fight, Nilly? I think they have to. I think they have to engage here. This is insanity. Keep in mind the Paladins are going to have a lot more damage output, and Hera's got 45 Paladins. They're not all here, though. A lot of them are coming in. Oh, jeez, what a fight! But are they getting pushed back? Man, Paladin's so strong, Nilly. Paladin has done so well here.
Oh, I think I would have liked to see like 3-4 monks behind this one as well to go for some conversions. 1 minute away from Paladins for Clement. It feels like the Baguettes are holding this.
I think just barely. Just barely. And keep in mind, if you're someone who pays attention to score, Sato's about to be in the Imperial Age, so he will have Arbalest. That's not something Nikov can say. But then again, Hard is going to be in the Imperial Age, so he could go for more camels. But man, what a ridiculous fight that was.
Whew, epic battle after epic battle here. And, well, Magugu only 1 minute away from reaching Castle Age as well.
Hey!
Surprised that Anatov continued to produce units as well. Still not on the way to Imp. And I think Imperial Camel could have been even worth more than Paladin upgrades.
Okay, so a couple things I want to see here from AM. At this point, Hera's already doing it. Spread some of these Paladins out and just keep them on the defensive. And I think while that's happening, market. And you're seeing markets for Hera as well. He's making the right moves here. Trade corner to corner. And you know that Margu is still feudal. And then MBL's got a better eco now. So you're kind of like... You've got worse army because you don't have Arbalest out there. And you're just trying to make the most of your time.
What a crazy
And then obviously,
game.
You've got to react to this if you're the French team. And I think the win now goes through, I don't want to say goes through Sato, but I think that Sato is really going to be the key here. Because he's the difference maker, having Arbalest.
I think Imperial Camels could also be a big thing. But that will be way earlier for Hard, so another timing there potentially for AM.
MBL's running around with these Travamsha riders. And they're super speedy, and he's being super annoying right now.
Yeah, due to a sneaky base that he built at the left-hand side. I think we could have seen some more walls to make it easier. Now a market at a really weird spot here by Anatov. And still no proper markets on the other side.
When the Baguettes had all that military,
yeah,
and they had that time window in Castle Age, I thought, there's no way AM can do this. Now I'm looking at the pop, and even if you were to consider every single stat to be even, which I don't think is the case, you have to have more faith in Aftermath. They're the more experienced team. I think they have the better overall players. They have 2 players in Imp versus 2 players in Imp, which is the big thing, but Imp Camel, I think, is when the Heart will want to take a dive here.
But he's actually queuing up more heavy camels. Not really taking
he has
into
Imp Camel on the way.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes more sense then. Yeah. And
Anno is going to be an Imp as well, so there will be 3 players in Imp for the Baguettes.
Anno techs for Halberdiers. He's not going camels.
I actually like that a lot, because it's double cav against them.
Sick
That's
read!
Actually really smart.
Nikov is so late.
Yeah, like if Nikov had more crossbows, that would be an issue, but Nikov's crossbows are on the right side. They're not in the main fight. And suddenly, MBL's reboom, and he's imping in the TC, which is close to this, could be disrupted.
Uh-oh, tricky. Where are the Halberdiers? We still don't have the Halberdier upgrade. Pikeman count, not that scary, and now maybe the big engagement. Pikeman now joining the party, but numbers aren't high enough.
Yeah, numbers aren't high enough. Let's see how Sato can micro. We had a recent change to attack move. Means it's a little harder to run away with micro, or just a little different. Still no Halb upgrade for Anno. It doesn't feel like these pikes are going to contribute much. But the meat shield of the Paladins has been helpful here for Sito to mop up. Still, though, I gotta question the lack of Halb upgrade. Anno, you've got to click that. He might have a cube behind some units. This is crazy. The Baguettes still have more military, though, Nilly. It was still amazing micro from Sito.
Still felt like an absolutely reasonable fight here. Arbel is still finding so many kills. We just need some more units in there. Claymore dealing with an outpost rather than dealing with the army. There was so many kills by Sito.
And the trade, Hera right now, he's got closing it on 10 trade. You've got some trade starting for Nikov. Their long-term will be better. Nikov about to hit Imp. Nikov will have Arbalest, and that's going to make Halb look so much worse, Nilly. It looks like it would have, like if they had 30 Halberdiers there, it would have steamrolled that fight and would have a massive lead in this game. But with Nikov now hitting him, Aftermath could push this back.
That was crazy micro by Sito. That group of Arbalests has 47 kills combined. And that's like Imperial Camels and Paladins exclusively.
Yeah. Only 13 eco kills there. But MBL's losing a lot of eco. He is an imp, so he can contribute with some trebuchets on the front, which I think he'll need to do. There's a lot of gold income there from the enemy. Loving the movement right now, though, for Clement. And for Sito, I just hope that Sito doesn't go too far. They could maybe deny this castle, but what they have not seen is Nikov. And here comes Nikov, Britain Arbalest, so he's got the extra range. His teammate will complete the castle, and he can mop up everything from behind this. But Nikov is about to lose like 30 villagers to these Paladins at the same time. This is incredible.
TCs are going down. Lots of villagers dying to build that castle as well. Habadi is now protecting population slightly in favor of the Baguettes. And I think my game is slowing down a bit. I'm at 45-30 now.
Oh, really? Are you able to speed up, or is it just...
I don't think so.
Capture age?
Yeah, it's capture age slowing me down.
Okay, just tell me where you're at again, and we can sync up where we can.
I'm at 45-45.
That's fine. We'll rewatch a couple of these things that I just talked about and you're about to see.
Okay.
Give me a time again.
46-5.
Oh, 46?
46, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, continue casting here, Nilly. We're good.
Okay.
I mean, Nilly, I had a quick glance. If you look at the gold count, look at the gold workers. It's the gray. I know you know this, but for viewers, it's a gray number underneath the amount of gold. That's a lot higher right now for Aftermath.
Oh yeah, yeah. So true. Sick. Only Nikov struggling a bit on that.
Yeah, and even then, Nikov has trade, and Nikov doesn't need to have well over 100 villagers with Britons.
Yeah.
Whereas like Hera would want to have 130, 140 villagers or something.
Yeah, certainly. So Habadi is now becoming really inefficient, and now we see the switch into heavy camel riders and see plate barding armor, but kind of late.
We see the university placed by Margugu. I was just gonna say this is a good time for fortified wall, because you're gonna need the time to get Anno into Imp Camel. But oh, look at this! Actually, Hera is separated himself from Nikov for at the same time. That is.
Yeah, I'm at 47-55, and Paladins are swarming, and this is not the best way of splitting your army here for sure. And we actually see some caravanserai as well being placed in the trade, making the trade quicker.
Okay, so where are these things? Yes, okay, so this is the great pronunciation, by the way. This is the unique building for the Hindustanis, and you got to spam those things because that trade will get speedy. Look at the castles right now for Anatov. He's about to lose a lot of villagers, and that's not just him. Margu's there, Sito is there. It's a party, man, but it's about to be crashed by Paladin.
Straight looking on the other side, we see the Caravanserani as well. Yeah.
This is good. This is what we wanted to see, the uniqueness of the new civs. Happy to see those being built. I forget the cost of those, Nilly. Do you remember?
It's relatively cheap. I think like 300 or 400 resources combined.
Gotcha. But once you have Imp Camel completed for your Anno, you should be able to make those instead. So there's definitely a point here once you have a lot in queue that you can just trade your halbs anytime you see paladins, and he's doing that. He's going to lose his pop quickly, but he needs to have camels queued behind this. It looks like he does, but it looks like they're not going to arrive anytime soon, so he maybe needs to back up with his team in the middle.
I'm a bit surprised how the numbers going down quite quickly. Now has the heavy or imp camels in the queue here, and Arbalest maybe overstepping a bit, I would think.
Yep. Yeah, just a little bit. And this is where we're seeing a difference between Ethiopians and Britons, right? That one fight earlier from Sato, he probably cleared because he was Ethiopian. But I think of these big fights where you're all fighting in the same spot, Britons are probably better because you're just able to hit from further away.
Yeah, I think so as well. If you need to micro, the range is really helping. If you have the massive battles and just sit there and do the damage, then we want to have Ethiopians.
Yeah, and Nikov is whittled down that number as well for Sato. Sato has 20 Arbalest, but he doesn't have any more in queue, Nilly. He's got 20 trade in queue,
Wow.
but he doesn't have any Arbalest in queue.
Really needs to split himself a bit there. Has some gold in the bank still, but obviously tricky to see that at all times. And oh, it feels like they're getting swarmed quite heavily now. Military plus 34 AM.
Wow. And keep in mind, MBL is in the Imperial Age. He's been contributing with trebuchets. He has economy. He's going to have so much trade, and MBL could actually come into the game with military. That is not something Margu can say. Aftermath now has a better economy with trade and bill count. They have a better army with, I think, army composition and the numbers. Sick play from Hera and Hart on that backside to recover this for their team. Just sick play. And great job from MBL to stay alive and be into this position, and Nikov to always contribute with army.
And now he has kind of the killer units, right? We saw those being Citos earlier, but now the big ball is simply in yellow here for the Arbalest. 56 on the field. We only see 16 on Cito's side, and that makes engaging just so much trickier because from distance you're always getting sniped.
134 kills for those 50 Arbalest for Nikov.
Sick.
154. That's wild. Also, Sato's still really struggling with his Q. Like, I don't know. He must really be struggling for resources, but well, I guess they all are, to be honest.
Yeah, gold is really tight on Baguette's side. Really tight.
There's not enough Imp Camels. There's not enough Arbalest. Halb feels like a waste of space when there's archers out there. Margu is 1 minute away from Imp. These Berbers, we could think about Camel Archers in the long term, but MBL is just going to continue to roll forward here. I don't have a lot of confidence that the Baguettes can stop this. I mean, Aftermath is almost fully popped as a team right now. They're 70 population away from being fully popped as a team.
Well, trying to break the... I think I'm behind again, so I don't really want to do play-by-play. But at least at my time, it feels like a big engagement is coming pretty soon.
What time is that, by the way?
54:30. Lightcav are squeezing through, but most of them dying here by for Clément.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to try and keep pace. I know there's so many units. It's hard to keep up, but yeah, I mean, there's just no... You look at the stats. I'm at 54, 55, and you're seeing Lightcav for Clément, and it's just the units, everything. Looking so bad for the Baguettes, which is so sad because I thought they had their opportunities earlier, nearly.
Yeah, they had double the military, close to triple the military in mid-castle age there, but couldn't really find the kills. Maybe some more knights spread around could have helped out so much because people were really spreading their knights at all the fronts, and now it's 24k army value to 12k. That's the story. That really tells you like more than all the other numbers.
Also, MBL is going to try the Shrivamsha Riders. He's getting the elite version. I feel like he could add in anything at this point, and it would probably benefit his team. So maybe not the best example of how good this unit's going to be. But he's going to go for Camels and Shrivamshas. And the Shrivamshas have 11. Ooh, elite has 90 HP and 11 base attack. Not bad.
Yeah, it's certainly not bad, and obviously still really good against all the Arbalest, right? So you want to have them in the front, dodging some shots, taking some shots to their face, and not really losing HP.
So something I don't like about the unit, though, is it sounds like a scout when it hits something.
Oh, okay.
And if the elite version has 11 base attack and a freaking knight has 10 base attack, and you hear a clang from a sword from the knight, I would have liked a different sound effect there.
Oh man, you can hear a lot of sound effects because this is a massive battle again. Look at all this unit stream coming in here, but it just feels like AM can replace this army way easier.
Yep. 63 paladins on the field for Hera, 60 camels on the field for Hart. MBL's unit comp is going to be camels and Shrivamshas. You've got 70 Arbalests, now Nikov switching the longbow. And I think the Baguettes, I mean, they did play on for a while in the previous games, but I think they're playing on right now because they just cannot believe they let this slip. I think they knew. I think they knew with how much army they had a really good shot, but the level, while it's high for the Baguettes, it is hard to compete with the heights of Aftermath. Like, every single player, their worst player is a 2K4 player who rarely plays and then still comes in, Mr. Hart from Peru, and shows what he's capable of. He is a crazy, crazy talent.
Whew. And yeah, looks just absolutely great here how AM is now playing together, how everyone is contributing and sending their army in. As you can see, like all the wild army competitions, we're even switching into longbows now as well. And it just feels like Baguettes are running out of options to defend.
Yep. What this is doing is it is boosting the amount of kills that ball of Arbalest gets from Nikov.
209!
So he's gonna love his KD after this game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he lost a lot in the early game, to be honest, so the KD might not be that good. But what a recovery.
Yeah, crazy hold there by Hera, being so greedy, and it just felt like the army wasn't really being used to perfection in Castle Age. Honestly, like, I didn't feel like they were camping much, but they didn't find the kills.
Yeah, I think they were a little indecisive, and there was a moment where there was camels, knights, and crossbows against simply like 8 camels, 6 knights from Hera. And they needed to find something there. And I think, you know, maybe the mistake was not committing. Maybe they went over to Hera's base and he was already too far ahead. Maybe they needed to go and finish Nikov or finish MBL because there was so much, but it almost made it harder to decide on frontline because you got so many options. You got so many freaking options. And of course, it's like, I guess in some ways, if you compare this to a normal team game, it actually takes a lot longer, or it's more awkward to access the players that are pocket. You could call them that. You got to go past a bunch of stuff, which can delay your reinforcements. Whereas if this was a 4v4 Arabia, where you're in a line that faces the other player's line, you just make a beeline there, you know? So I think a lot of units got caught up at maybe MBL and Nikov's base. But I mean, I can take nothing away from Aftermath there. That was incredible. And, like, Hera's performance there, was it greedy? Probably. But did it work out? Definitely. That was still so good. Like, I don't think that's something he could get away with in his set tomorrow against GamerLegion. But they got away with it here, and man, did it look good.
Yeah, but still, concentrate on game number 5. AM still needs every win. Baguettes still heavily benefiting from taking a single game here, making the set way easier against WWP tomorrow. So this fifth game still is really important for tomorrow. And it will be Hera plus either Hart or Leary playing there. So they're still sending the big guns.
Right. Yeah, and for the Baguettes, it cannot be Sato and it cannot be Margu, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so likely, if I had to guess, Anno and... I actually don't know.
I think Anno, Celeste.
Celette's the better... I think, yeah, you would probably give Celette archers. Or actually, what's the map?
Regicide Fortress, I believe.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so it's going to be Chinese... And then has everyone used all their civilizations for the from the new expansion?
We have Gujaras, we had Hindustanis, we had Bengalis and Dravidians on water. So maybe Gojaras? Is that an option for Baguettes? Otherwise, we used everything for sure.
I feel like it's really bad on Regicide Fortress if they still have a civilization remaining they have to use from the new expansion. I'm trying to think. I think I'm with you. I think Baguettes still have to use one.
If at all, then Gojaras. Let me look it up.
Yeah, please do. Chinese feel like the out-and-out best civilization for Regicide Fortress. So that's a 100%er on both sides.
Gojaras was the opener. Okay, so all civs used. So you can pick civilizations that are not... Or you have to pick civilizations that are not from the newest expansion.
Okay, and then obviously civilizations you haven't used yet, which brings me just to rattle off some. We have Slavs, potentially.
What about Regicide Fortress? Slavs?
Yeah, dude. I don't think we'll see it in the 2v2, but in the 3v3 tournament, the meta was to go Slav pocket instead of Frank pocket.
For Boyars, yeah. I could see that in 3v3. Yeah.
In 2v2, I think it's going to be more ranged units.
Yeah, I think...
And I think Vietnamese, Chinese would be my easy pick.
Okay, I don't
or potentially Burgundians.
Burgundians could be something. Spanish could be something. We clearly have to forget some pretty obvious choices.
Yeah, I mean, Nikov absolutely
Mayans
dominated
an option
with Burgundians on. It's not called Regicide Fortress, but it's basically that. Called Ruins in the Terra Nova Duos tourney.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember seeing some people had done that, and I told MBL, like, hey, we should do that. He's like, nah, that's bad. And then, like, 40 minutes into that game, Nikov's destroying everything with Burgundians. So I think AM have a lot of experience with that and might believe in it.
AM still has Cumans as well.
Yeah, but I don't have the brightest... I still feel like Cumans... They're probably good, but I don't think they're quite as good as some of the other civs we've mentioned.
Okay.
I think I would have one player go Chinese and one player go Burgundians. I think, genuinely believe... Wait, who's playing for AM again? It's going to be Hera Leary.
Hera Hart. Hera Hart against Anotov Clement.
I don't know if Hera and Hart would prefer that, but that would satisfy me the most.
Chinese Spanish is a pretty solid choice for sure as well.
Yeah, yeah. And you can go Conks and Castle Age for a bit of control, and then you can switch into Paladins later with Crazy Trade.
If you get the eco rolling. And, well, we can stop speculating, and it's indeed Chinese-Spanish mirror.
Okay. Chinese-Spanish mirror. I'm a little disappointed. I wanted to see Burgundians, but I think the Spanish trade bonus is probably too strong to ignore.
Conquistadors are also strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
Should we quickly crunch numbers to know the relevance of this game?
Yeah, go ahead.
So it's 4-0. This is probably not updated indeed. So Aftermath is now at 9 points. So if they win tomorrow, they could still win the whole thing. If they win this next game and take 4 wins, it's actually such a good spot for Aftermath. If they win 5-0 today, they have full control over tomorrow.
GamerLegion is at 9, correct?
GamerLegion is at 9, yeah. So they're 1 ahead of GamerLegion and 3 behind Suomi. And still having
if they
a full
win
set.
this game.
Yeah, if they win this game.
If they win this game.
Yeah.
We could have a 3-way tie, though. Could we not?
No, we can't.
Well, no. Think about it. So if Aftermath wins... Ooh, maybe I'm wrong. Hold on.
We could have 13-13-11.
Yeah. We can't.
GamerLegion can't catch up.
Yep, I was wrong. Well, that's good for you. Having to split prize between 3 teams would be a bit awkward. Wouldn't be too bad, I guess.
The math is easy.
Yeah. Actually, probably makes it better. So, all right. Well, we'll be in the game here in just a second. I believe it's launching because I tabbed out and it's not letting me go back into it, which normally means it's launching. Okay. You in, Nilly?
I'm in. Yep.
All right. Sick stuff. Game 5. A lot of awesome games today. Let's see what these guys are capable of with their build orders. This is Regicide Fortress. We have seen a lot of kings be vulnerable over the last couple months in Age of Empires 2 tournaments with Regicide. Happy to see it. We've got Anatov in the red playing as the Spanish. We have Clement in the yellow playing as the Chinese. And then it is also going to be Spanish-Chinese for Hera and Hart on the other side. Any surprises here in this game, Nilly, or is it just going to be same thing from both?
I would assume some Kongs, and then, as you mentioned, transition into Cavaliers, later Paladins, and we have some Chokonus. Also, Hera Chinese, Clement Chinese, so will be the full mirror. Now we have to take a look. Are there any important hills between the 2 Chinese players?
Yeah, I think that is more important between the Chinese players than probably the Spanish players. And I'm not really seeing any important hills between them. What I am seeing is a hill to the left for Clement, where if he controls that, his gold sit behind that nicely for the long term. But that's not even the most... that's not the most exciting hill. It's not directly next to it.
Yeah, so feels like no one really needs to rush to Imperial Age. Then I believe strong economies most of the time win. And maybe the next step we could take a look at is how is trade potentially going to look like? And Hart? That's a big area he has to defend on his end.
Yeah, it is. I'll tell you what, though, Nilly, the gold positions for the Spanish players could end up deciding this one. You look at Hart's golds, all 3 of his golds are forward.
Oh, yeah.
And then you could argue that Anatov's is even worse because it's more centrally located. It's closer to one area of the screen, so he's got golds that are forward too. So that's going to be tough. I mean, we're talking maybe making a town center on these golds, and that's going to be exposed. I think it's going to be much better for Hera. Hera's got full-on map packs. He's got main gold way back there, and he's got a castle on the front, and he's got a stone and a gold in the back. And then if you're looking at Clement, it's also kind of awkward with his golds being more forward, but it doesn't seem near as bad as what we saw on the other side.
Yeah, also I would be really surprised if it's that important for Chinese, right? For Spanish, yeah, you could go for some unfortunate scenarios where Kong v Kong you can fall behind and then there will be some pressure, but
yep.
It just feels like you're going for some Kongs anyways, so if the opponent is overwhelming, just build some more Kongs and you can compensate for your bad map.
Yeah, did you see my tweet last week about the last 3 times I've been involved in Regicide?
Yes, but I forgot. I surely liked it.
Well, so in the last 3 times I've been involved in Regicide in a tourney, I killed 1 king, I lost a king to a town center, and then the most recent one was I almost lost a king to a castle. So
yeah,
it's
remember. Yep.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna keep an eye on my king a bit more in the future. It's crazy though. Like we've had, there was I think Vivi losing a king in Terra Nova. There's surely some more recent examples, and you remember like we would rarely see people ever lose kings. So I've been happy with the amount of fails we've seen recently with Regicide. Also, GamerLegion, I think Slam's king got sniped.
Yeah. Well, he was in a losing situation, right? And then he lost it, and they couldn't get into a comeback anymore. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So it wasn't like, oh, this team's losing. It wasn't like when you sniped Jibbatong's king.
That was a crazy one. Yeah. Remember, we still cast a game where Hera went Scout Rush on Regicide Fortress.
I remember being very disappointed in the attempt, but honestly, imagine if it would have worked.
Yeah, and then we go into game 13, right? Or was it best of 11?
I think it was best of 11.
Okay, then we go into game 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 6-4 in the end. Yeah.
All right, so the build orders for the Chinese players, pretty similar here. You're going to see a few things that players are doing that might confuse you. Regicide, you start with 150 stone. And, ooh, look at this. Hamon's going to try and trap Hera's scout. This is sick, actually. This is sick. Oh, no, he can't build it.
What? Oh,
that's so sad. Why would it let the villager go that way if it couldn't build it? And this must be a... This must be the chat bug again that's been happening. It's not Sato saying that. That's Hera saying that.
So
and he says nice idle time, and Margu says dadgum, and Anno says be nice.
Yeah. So colors are the important thing, not the names there.
But yeah, back to what I was saying. You have 150 stones, so if you want to go for 3 TCs, you'll normally see players walk over and collect the other 50 stone. I don't know what maintenance means.
I actually thought like, wow, okay, I will need to look that word up.
It's like...
And also like Anatov, I think not a native English speaker, just like said, okay. And I felt like, damn, I have to be dumb.
I mean, I thought it was going to be entertainment, but now I think it's a mix of entertainment and maintenance.
Maintenance apparently means now. So what do we have?
Wait, is this act?
So I will be maintenance. I will be now?
But that's not, no, that's not relevant. Oh, maybe he's saying I will be nice now? But why would you... That word feels so out of place. Like, no offense to Hera, but I just would not chalk that up. If maintenance means now, I would not chalk that up to be in his vocabulary.
Maybe it's the French word. Montenot.
Oh, he does live in or like nearish to Quebec, so he might actually speak a decent amount of French.
Ah, but how, like, Anatov apparently. Then
that's actually my guess. My guess would be that he's trying to speak to them with words they understand, and then that would explain why we're confused. So, okay. Well, we've learned something today, Neely. We've learned many things today. We've learned that you must always trust Ruben Stock with Vil Warring, which I think we should have known before, and we've learned that you shouldn't lose kings, and we've learned that I don't know what else we've learned, but it's a lot of booming right now. We do have some army positioning, some army movement. You have Anatov with 3 conks, and you've got 2 conks for heart.
That was underwhelming, Tristan. Like I thought, like you said, like we learned something today, and I was like sitting back and ready to listen.
We've learned that you shouldn't listen to me if you didn't know that already. That's what we learned.
Yeah. No, we didn't learn that today.
Well played. I set you up. And I set you, and I was really curious if you were going to spike that one.
Lots of kongs. Going for 6 kongs compared to only 3 kongs here for Anatov. So goes more into the boom direction with 3 town centers, while the 3rd town center much later for Hearts, not even set up yet.
Yeah, I guess that's the trade-off, right? You can afford more conquistadors. Don't expect those kongs to do too much. Normally, if you go for the approach that Heart's gone for, there's a wood line or something that you can range. Obviously, having some map control is always really nice, and he should be able to catch up, but he's had the stone for the 3rd town center for a while. He hasn't done that, so maybe having the exposed golds kind of made him feel like he needed to make more conks. Because he is very vulnerable there on the front.
Yeah, maybe. Let's take a look. Now the 4 kongs against the 5 kongs. Yeah, Anatov doesn't really want to take that one. Runs away. Villager-wise, we are sitting Hera +3 and Anatov +3. So we're pretty much dead even. 88 versus 88. Now 89 versus 89. So nothing too special happening.
Are you shocked that we don't have even a single Chukunu in queue for the Chinese players?
Not really with those maps, right? You can't really put any pressure in there. And especially how we see the games yesterday. We feel like you can skip on Chukunu production quite a lot.
Yeah, I think in 1v1s it would be a little different. But in team games, you probably want to just delay the army a little bit. Because what you don't want to do is make an army, especially if there's conks out there, that's just going to die. The conquistadors, because these conquistadors are hoping to feast on something right now. And Heart gets 1 kill. And almost gets another kill there. Not bad.
Okay. Safe for now. And could send the Kongs back now for the defense. That's what Anatov is doing. 6 Kongs on the map by him. Against the 8 of Hearts. Some HP loss due to the tower. Villager, nice dodge.
Yeah, nice dodging. I really like how Hart attacked the wall on the other side right before he attacked the villager on the farm. I think the timing was there. And so it's possible as he gets a really good runaway snipe that Anatov was just distracted by the other conks, which is pretty useless right now to Hart.
Yeah, I like that one quite a bit. Nice movements, and yeah, game feels very, very stable, we have to say. Still, it's like villager advantage for Anatov and slight villager advantage for Hera, but unlikely that those will decide the game, so we have to question ourselves. How do you get ahead in those situations, and most of the time it's with good team play.
Yeah, this is I think going to set up quite interestingly on the other side. You have stone income, a lot of stone income for Clement. He's going to go up. Keep in mind he's got 0 army besides the scout. And then you've got Hera, who's already on the way up, who's just now going to stone. So Hera's food and wood eco will have been a lot better. Can afford upgrades, etc., etc. But he might not have a second castle, so I think in the end it's going to end up evening out. We have a very defensive castle for Clement on the right side of his base, and Hera's going to have time.
Yeah, now heavily on stone, goes for the stone upgrade as well. Wheelbarrow only now, on the later timing here for Heart. As we can see, some players even squeezed in handcart here. Chukunu production now starting. And, well, the question also will be, how do we protect the trade there in the long run, right? I still see that as a big problem for Heart.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the other big problem for Heart is going to be just the gold positions. You know, if there's any type of a snowball effect towards Heart or Anatov, they could die, right? I mean, the trade takes a long time to come in, so maybe Heart overstayed his welcome in the back here. He's going to take some losses here. Great work from Anatov. Great work from Heart to get some value as well, but it does seem like Heart's going to take the bigger losses here, and maybe I spoke too soon, actually. Gets 2 pickoffs, and yeah, now loses 2, and probably more.
I'm a bit surprised that Heart actually continued to produce Kongs here. Isn't this the moment where we clearly want to switch away from those?
Typically, yes. Like, typically, you stop producing, and then you start to see the stables come up, and you can see Anno's now doing that. He's going to build the stables at home. But maybe he sees the gold. I don't know. Like, maybe he sees the gold. Like, he's really close to ranging villagers next to that. Yeah.
I think the farm is not well placed there by Anatov. I think where he had the farm far away.
He should have another mining camp.
Yeah.
They delete the far one and have another mining camp for sure.
Could have been a good
Look
option.
at Hera's castle though. Just briefly, he's placed it way in the back. Hera has always been really good at this. He doesn't like to take the risks of going for the forward castles. He likes to rely on his macro and go for the defensive castle, and that's what we've seen as well from Clement. Seems like this will go late.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. We're at 22 minutes only, and these players have massive economies. That's Regicide Fortress for you.
Yeah, just makes it so much easier and so much nicer as well to get your eco rolling, more entertaining, and Heart continues to go for Kongs. This is so surprising to me.
So Hera a little late, or a little light, I guess, on the Chukunu numbers, which I suppose should be expected because his castles were later. So if we could start to see some Trebs with Chukunu head over towards Heart, Heart could have some big problems, and it would take time for Hera to be able to help him out.
Yeah, but it's super risky, right? If you move over there, send some units, like it's so likely that you might lose your castles on your own. So,
Well, I mean, the way he placed his castles, I could make an argument for that not being the case, but yeah, I understand. I understand what you mean. Like, look at Hera, right? Like, he saw the numbers from Clement, and he should be scared, and it almost looks like he's still thinking about moving out. But as I say that, he backs away.
just too likely that it's very, very even to make any like set units over there. Feels very risky. And now the first knights in the queue. First knights in the queue also for hearts. So stayed on Kongs a bit longer, but couldn't really achieve too much. Pretty much a mirror game.
It's funny how they are trading off evenly right now. But here come the Chukonu. Now, if Hart sees this, he's obviously going to pass that information along to Hera. And Hera's actually on the way right now, too. So we're talking upgrade differences, not too many. But Hera has had ballistics already. Clement's still 30 seconds away from that upgrade, and that could be huge here.
Straight up fight now. Better numbers for Clement. Hera can't really take this one.
Yeah, he's got to back up. He might realize, though, the ballistics isn't in because of some of those engagements. But, you know, that runner didn't end up working out. Ballistics does complete now at this time. And that is a better fight for Clement, for sure. Depending on how important rocketry is, though, because Hera did just complete rocketry. I think rocketry made a little bit of a difference there.
+2 attack in those situations. We did the math and think that rocketry even slightly better than the elite upgrade if you can't afford both at the same time. And Anatov now, funny move that he's running away from that farming area, and Hart actually gets quite a nice pick-off again with those Kongs in the back.
Yeah, the farms have to be deleted or they're lost. I mean, I personally feel like Hart's additional conquistadors really got value, Nilly.
Yeah.
Like, this alone is probably worth the additional conquistadors.
And now he gets the Paladin upgrade before Anatov. So nice switch, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, also, Anatov, he should have clicked Paladin before he went for heavy numbers. Like, if you want to go for, like, a fast Treb push with the Chukunu on Hera, I like going for the Cavalier numbers first. But players are pretty heavily defended right now, as we have some quick walls from Anno in the back. Typically, you want to get Paladin in before you go for the numbers. See, Hart's behind in the numbers, but he's going to have the upgrades in as Hart and Hera patrol on that hill in front of Hart's base.
Farm numbers not that crazy by anyone. Obviously, the Chukunu players at 30 and 32, absolutely okay, but only 39 and 37 farmers for our Paladin players.
If Anno patrols here, he'll kill a lot of Hera villagers and also some Chukunu. And now he's clicked Paladin as we have elite Chukunu for Clement, but he's at home right now. This is interesting because it feels like there's going to be a push, or it feels like maybe Aftermath were going to go for a push near Anno's golds, but now you have Hart running over to help there. And this could actually be bad for Hart, too. Lose his Paladins here.
Such
so
an
close,
important
though.
game still.
Yeah. So just to remind myself here, if Aftermath were to lose this, they'd have to win 4 against GamerLegion to tie.
They would
Suomi?
be at 9. Correct, yeah. They had to,
which is a tough ask.
Yeah, they need to have a 5-0 then to be
win.
the only winners. Yeah.
Yeah.
So every game they
man.
win now, they have to win less against GL.
Sure. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, it feels like Paladin's making a difference, and also just the units are kind of being cut off as Anno is running towards this group of Chukunu from his ally. He's got to run through Paladins and through Chukunu, and Aftermath are really gaining an advantage from this. Now look at this in the right corner. We have a wall there for Anno. I don't think that will complete, but something they're going to need to deal with Aftermath. But Aftermath just took the military lead there. Getting Paladin in early was so huge.
Okay, now the castle on the hill here by Hera. That's interesting. Goes over to the other side. Also Hart doubles down another castle by him. While we see big walls over by Anatov to block off the trade. Will be stopped though, and that's an interesting hill. Oh, breaking that one will be tricky for Baguettes.
I feel like we're seeing the level difference here because it looked so good. It looked so much like Aftermath were going to push right there. And now you have to see Anno and Clement reacting. And then all the while, Aftermath is just going to take control of a hill, which they're going to use as a push to maybe finish off Anatov. Finish off Anatov. That sounds good. Finish off Anatov. Say that for me.
Finish off Anatov.
That sounds just as good as it felt to say. Oh my god.
Oh, 58. Lead Chukunu against 56 here. And that means Paladin trades off are pretty even. Okay, now the Paladins are joining. Oh, this could be good for Baguettes. No, fight's not happening.
Hera wisely backs away, and now Anatov's going to see the castle, and he's going to be like, ooh, man. And imagine how vulnerable he feels. He just had to pull 20 villagers off of that gold. And so you want to trade, but you also need Paladin numbers. Otherwise, you could die. Feel very unsafe. The villager killed by Anatov, who was walling in the corner. We now have walls from Hart and Hera through the middle. Their trade is going to be secured there.
Everyone trying to get into their ideal army composition here. Quite interesting that Clement is actually switching towards Halberdiers that heavily, while we see quite some losses here on the Paladins of Hart. Nice catch by Anatov.
Oh, they're making a move for Hera. Hera recognizes it's Regicide, and he makes a run for it here. As we see plenty of Chukunu for both players patrolling in. And then we have Anatov. And actually, Hera could really lose numbers here. And he could also lose 2 castles, which he desperately needs for Chukunu production. Oh, man. And the Paladins found the perfect spot there for Anatov. Blocks Hera from his retreat. Hart is dodging shots, though. Look at Hart. Is this going to be enough? It's 120 military for the Baguettes. It's 60 for Aftermath, and Hera's not going to have the castles anymore, nearly.
Uh-oh, Baguettes with plus 40 population here, military-wise. It's looking so much better. What a beautiful team play by the Baguettes.
They're not trading the same amount. That could be part of the difference here. Hart and Hera are trading so much more right now. Hera's got plenty of castles behind this. He's not finished. But if those trebuchets just continue to move forward and take out castles, it does feel like Hera can never catch up. It's only 32 canoe for the Canadian. It's 88 Chukunu for Clement.
Triple the military, or like 2.5x now. They're still so far ahead. The only big thing is that the golds are still exposed, and trade, as you mentioned, better for Hera and Hart. But if the push continues, I don't really see AM holding this one too easily.
Yeah, Chukunu is the bread and butter of Regicide Fortress. Lots of reasons we could get into about the start for Chinese, but the unit just wrecks. And Hera, I don't know why he's fighting this.
Horrible fight.
What is he? Is he looking at something else right now? Because that is not a fight that's going to help him bring us back. Oh man, those trebs can't even be sniped by Hart, because Hart has to come from the east. And he needs to somehow get across there. It's going to be so difficult for him.
Castle count for Hera down to 3 in the back here. Still okay-ish to work with, but obviously the eco will now be completely open as well. Paladins can go right.
Is there a chance that Hart can do something to change things? It almost feels like he could raid that gold a little bit, but then again, he needs to save Hera, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's only at 27 Paladins. Numbers simply aren't there.
Meanwhile, you've got 28 for Anno, so he's even with Hart. That's all he needs to do is maintain that, because Hera's still so far behind. Hera is up at 60, though, Nilly. He shot up pretty quick, but he's about to lose villagers. He's about to lose TCs. I think, though, the second they see more castles from Hera, they need to send the Trebs there.
Oh, look at that. Chikunu's now moving in deep to not take the fight with the Paladins here. Paladins are pretty much stuck, and it just feels Clement is running over Hera here.
Hera 60 Chukunu. Keep in mind, he's got 30 trade. Hera's resources are actually looking really good. His population's not bad either. They have to focus down the castles. They need to use these trebuchets to hit Hera's next castle and just continue that cycle.
Oh, Lightcav now being mixed in by Anatov. Horrible. They are out of gold apparently.
Also, look at the castles from Hera and Hart. It's sniping units as they run through. So he can't set his gather point where he needs to because of that. That could lead to Hart having more paladins here. And the machine guns just continue to go off, and they continue to fight. Half of Hera's army isn't patrolling in, though. Half of Hera's army was not engaging. Not sure if that was by design. It's 120 army. There's 90 army. Aftermath with the eco lead. The trebuchets have to roll back. Is Aftermath holding this due to the trade, Nilly?
It seems like it. It absolutely seems like it. And there's no other go. Oh, Rams prepared at the right-hand side, though. Soon Anatov will make a go for the trade.
God, man, these two castles, though, are actually triggering me right now. Because every time I look over there, there's stuff getting hit by it. But I think it was a good move to pull back there temporarily for Clement. Also, he's got 100 Chukunu now. 100. Hera's up to 80. He still hasn't caught up.
Oh, but still, Paladin numbers are solid. I think this fight could go in favor of Aftermath here if they wanted to take it.
And they have to escape through the hole that they made here, nearly. And I don't think they can. They have to just fight this right now.
I think so as well.
The Baguettes have to fight this. And it could be a losing fight. The Trebuchets are trying to get out. And look at Hera, and look at Hart. They're pushing this back. Meanwhile, the ram push is going to start, but there's no real unit to kill the trade over there. And Aftermath, oh god, there's still so many Chukunu.
I think the traps could have really helped out as well, I believe.
He still actually held on there. Wow. Wow, he actually held on there.
Clement with crazy numbers.
He's at 98 Chukunu with 45 in Q. Man, Clement's playing out of his mind right now. Like, he's completely outplaying Hera, one of the best players in the world. I don't know if completely is the word, but they gained a foothold over Hera. We'll see if he can bring it back.
Certainly not letting go. Chukunus are trying to get away. Paladin streaming in as well. And every single time you disengage, you obviously will lose some of your Chukunu. Now traps are setting up, and Terra, those are the last castles that he can work with. Now switching into Onagers.
Also, Paladin in the trade, Nilly. Paladin are in the trade. Anatov does have more than Lightcap there. He's going to slowly take out the trade. Hart will have to deal with that, which means he can't send any support to Hera. He's got a little bit of support here right now, but it doesn't save that castle. Hera now has 4 castles? How does he have 4 castles? He's got 4 castles to produce Chukunu. Way more than I expected to see when I look back there.
Oh, good enough, certainly. Chukunu production not the craziest, and yeah, some trade is going down. Rams maybe with the wrong path and could have maybe found some kills against the markets there. Didn't really happen. And now, next castle is getting focused.
Now, if Hera lands a big shot, he's back in it with the Chukunu numbers, because it's 80 to 100 right now, and he still has 3 castles behind here. So I do like Onager for that reason, but still lacking castles is a problem, no matter how you slice it. So the opponent's going to have the opportunity to make more. And great job from Hera with the attack rounds on the Onager. I think that's the first time the Baguettes have seen that. I think they've got to be terrified of this, and now Clement needs to pay a lot more attention to his micro. Good news is, though, is that Chukunu are pretty good against Siege, Nilly, if used properly, and a good job there again.
Okay, Traps can maybe deal with that. Traps actually shooting some of the Chukunus. Not really sure why he's not finishing off the castle first. Wanna just moving forward. Baguettes basically pop limit. I am still struggling with that.
Ooh, what will Hera go for here? Because if he goes for the Trebs, he could lose his Onagers. Paladins can't get through at the moment. The Trebs are actually being used on the Hera's force, which I think is perfect. And a 50 military lead now for the Baguettes. As I'm sure, like, who we consider to be the stronger players, Margot and Sato, are, like, talking to each other right now. Like, let's go, boys! I don't know how you say that in French.
Allez, les Baguettes!
This is amazing. Onager hasn't paid off yet for Hera. Hera's down to 50 Chukunu with none in queue. He's got 0 on food. He's got very little gold in the bank. He's got wood. You see, you need the wood and the gold for the Chukunu in the siege, but if another wave of Paladin comes, it feels like Hera could break here. I did not think that these two players and on this map would break Aftermath today, after everything we've seen.
Yeah, Aftermath really looks so good, right?
Yep. Yeah, Anatov is also taking out the castles slowly that Hera and Hart had towards the middle. He's continuing to go for a little ram push. He looks like he's going to go Halbaram against Hart, which I think would devastate Hart. He has no counter to that. And while one Trebuchet went down for Clement, the others are still there to take out another castle. I think this is over. I think Hera's in big trouble here. Only 37 Chukunu against 100 Chukunu.
Halberdier push now by Anatov. And that makes so much sense, right? In the sense that he was still struggling for quite some gold. And Hart is only going for Paladin. So that could be pretty sweet for him.
Yeah, and honestly, Anatov has more trade than Hart does right now, too. So you just bank up that gold for a while for every time you need Paladin. What a crazy job here. Now, could see some big shots from Hera. Couple of hits there. There's quite a few weak Chukunu in that group now. But there's plenty more in the queue, I'll tell you that much. How did Hera get the stone, by the way?
20 in the queue.
Castles?
Maybe we go market. We have stone price of 216.
Probably purchased a decent amount. I think what I'd love to see from Anatov is stables on this side.
Bomber towers.
On the left side.
Stables at the left side. Yeah, yes, some okayish positioned stables, but could be further forward. Ooh, bomber now onages by Clement, really nice. I think maybe like two bombards could be nice as well.
Oh, big shot. Takes Hera's numbers down to 29 now. And yeah, you just need enough paladins to go in there, contribute against the onagers. I'm really happy for the Baguettes, assuming they close this out. I'm very happy. I mean, I'm happy for how they performed in general. And we do see the GG there, Billy. They make it happen. Baguettes showed they had class. They were unfortunate not to be able to win game number 4, but they do win game number 5. And quite an amazing one here from Clement and Anatov.
Yep. Pretty damn happy, and Anatov, probably one of the most improved players over the last 2-3 years in the circus, and having a big W here. Clement played so well there, found one single bad fight against Hera. Hera was a bit over ambitious, where Anatov could double and then never let go.
I thought so. What I thought was going to happen, and I forget what time it was at this point, but there was a point where Hera and Hart showed up to Clement's base. And then they immediately castled that hill. And so from my line of thinking was they're ready to push from that hill. And then what will happen is the Frenchmen are going to react to that and immediately be on the back foot. Directly below that is going to be Anatov's gold. But Baguettes didn't give him any time. He said, okay, you want to take that hill? We're just going to push Hera. And then Hera immediately was reeling from that hit. And then Hart had to help, and that was it. And I think the other thing was, and this is always a tricky balance, and I'm probably not the best person to talk to in terms of timing that balance, but there was a lot of trade from Hart and Hera, and they just didn't invest as much into the army at that stage. Specifically Hera, like, I think at one point 15, 20 trade carts when his opponent had 3 or 4. So clearly he wasn't prioritizing the Chukunu numbers as much, and that was what mattered in the end there. But still, I mean, Clement had to play amazing, and Hera still had a really good game.
Yeah. Pretty damn happy to witness that one, and very happy for Baguettes. And this is like one of the dream outcomes for tomorrow. Obviously not for AM. They were looking for the 5-0, but GL, AM, Suomi all having chances to win, and Baguettes now in their own hands to overtake WWP in the opener tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, and so just to sum it up, I guess, half for anyone listening, and also the other half very strongly for me. Let me just refresh. I think that in order to tie, Aftermath is going to need to have 4 wins tomorrow.